We've got audio is on, and video. Perfect. Let us begin. Shabbat Shalom, my most esteemed and beloved judges, friends, LVE tribe, as well as everyone accompanying us. On this rather precious and sunny and even a little heated, because it's precious, day of Shabbat from California, the US of A. This Shabbat is the 27th day of the 7th month, Etanim, of the year 5992, corresponding to November 11th of the year 2023, in which we shall study yet another chapter, because in one way or another we have to title these subjects. Maybe we won't study Gaza too much today because we're going to develop something, but we will touch on Gaza, but we still are on that order. Revelation 17:55, in other words, Revelation 17, the seven kings and the end of Babylon, part 55, Gaza chapter 2. I love the subjects in the long series, even if we just touch on certain titles just for a little bit. It doesn't matter. It's our gathering. It is our life, our reality. And it's got to do with Gaza today, even if we don't talk about Gaza too much, because we have to talk about another subject first. We've gone through a Sukkot that is rather spectacular in my point of view and appreciation. It was the better Sukkot up until now because it was so short, and that speaks about how that we really had a good time. There was a lot of harmony. We all went up like 20 pounds because we ate every day, all day, every time. From the time we got up in the morning till we went at night. Now we have to lose our weight, but it's been a feast. I can't say I'm going to be watch my diet during the feast. Of course not. A feast, you have to live it as such, long. Imagine that the people, regular people, that don't belong here, just common people, on Christmas, they say that the Christmas feast, which are Christmas and New Year's, they go on average of 10 pounds, 5 kilos. That is just an average, mind you. Just imagine 8 days of feast, of eating without letting loose. And one day, you're not too hungry, but they make such a good food that you try it and you want more and more and more. It's rather impressive, but well. I think you've had a very good time, super excellent. Due to your pictures that you have posted, it makes us very, very happy. It's very, very special, very, very happy. Your pictures are spectacular. Leslie just told me to remind you that we thank you due to your participation of comments, pictures, videos, everything that you've showed. Really fills our heart spectacularly. It looks like you've had a really good time. In my point of view, and I believe in many others, it was the best of them all. Just like that, even with Boca Juniors Athletic Club having lost against the Flu, either way, it was the best of them all, absolutely. Without any further ado, let us seek our Elohim. Beloved Yahweh, we give you thanks for this so precious day of Shabbat. We give you thanks because you always speak to us. We give you thanks because you make us understand things, the most complicated things, in a simple manner. We give you thanks because you speak in parables in this life. I ask you that we may comprehend today's subject, and that rather it be for the benefit of everyone, and that soon we can be in your plans within the situation and the promises that you've given us. All this I thank you for in your precious name, Yahweh Sabaoth. Hallelujah. Yahweh has blessed with one more year of life the following members of the Eternal Truth: Sara Belén Vicente Hernandez, Mexico; Maria Guadalupe Montes Moreno, Mexico; Sandra Regina Lobo, Brazil; Israel Paula, the Dominican Republic; Beatriz Ferrazano, Venezuela; Harold Lopez, Colombia; Jesus Herrera, Chile; Edson Mendoza, Bolivia; Hugo Hernandez Dina, Ecuador; Naomi Shirley Usuga Tejeda, Venezuela; Conchita Cordobés Belmonte, Spain; Giancarlo Solano López, Venezuela; Andrade, Colombia; Leonel Barrada, the US of A; Sara Aranda Castro, Chile; and Jared Barrios, Argentina. For each and every one of you, a great big hug. On behalf of the Eternal Truth, makes us very happy that you've all had birthdays. We hope that it's the last one under the government of Babylon. We'll see what Yahweh has in store for us, but a great big hug on behalf of every member of the Eternal Truth. Here I am presenting a project, or rather something, we could say an activity that the young people did here. They bought this, the Avengers. How do you say Avengers in Spanish? The Avengers. Yeah, the Avengers. This plane or spaceship is called the Avenger Queen Jet. We've got Iron Man, which is outside because he flies. He can take off from there, and it is, the pilot is Captain America. We pay attention to people say these are the stupidest things in the world. Captain America is the pilot right there. You can see him. Don't crash it like in the movie and you killed yourself. Not this time. And here we've got a whole bunch of characters that I can't show you because they are all stuck in there. We've got this one. Who's this one? This is Loki, the Thor's bad brother. We accept him because he got powers. Maybe he'll convert or become good. This is Loki, Thor's brother, son of the god. What's his name? Odin, son of Odin. Here's Thor. There's one that's got, who's the guy with the, has his, the sword that looks like a thunder. No, Thor has a hammer. He has both things. Yeah, you're right. He's got both things. I thought that with the hammer it was enough. He needs something else. Thor, magnificent. And there's another one. I don't know that one with two sabers. Oh, the Black Widow. Oh, then the Black Widow there. The Black Widow. It's great. Let's close it because I don't want you to get a wind and for it to be unstable and crash. If we had some sort of power, at least, to bother Babylon, we would make these real spaceships with a protection halo, and then already we could do whatever we want. But well, those are in our dreams, just in our dreams. Here it is, the airplane. Well, with this and with the spaceship we've got up there that you've already seen, another one that we have somewhere over there, the Falcon of Star Wars. With that, all of the Eternal Truth enter into that one, this one, and that one. We'll turn Babylon around in 2 minutes. In 2 minutes, we'll turn Babylon around, but we don't have anything. We've got only the urge to speak, to celebrate, but okay, that's great. Maybe someday it'll become a reality. Who knows? Here we got it. It's just in a model form right now, at least to have fun. If nothing happens, at least we have fun. Moving on, let us look for the moon. The 30th day, because it'll be the 30th of the 7th month. It's not so important to go out and look for it and see it, because the moon will show up either way, but it is the 30th day of the month, so then whether we see it or not, if the whole world it's all cloudy, everyone, either way, we're going to move on to the next month because there's no month with 31 days. So then either way, we love to see it. We love to see your picture, so then go out and see it. When will it be? It'll be this Tuesday at sunset. When it is turning into Tuesday, it's all, when Tuesday we work, doing what we need, and the sun goes down. On Tuesday is when the moon will be seen on the true day. When the sun goes down, it's already Wednesday, not until midnight. So then when the sun goes down, you'll see the moon, and we enter into the 8th month, which bears the title of... What is the name of the 8th month, Uriel? No. Gabriel. No. Ale. No. Minto. No. They're all looking at me. Edward. Hector. No, Minto, not Minto. Heidi, don't hide. She's looking to see what searching. I always catch them searching on their phone. What is the name of the 8th month? No? It's bullshit. No, just bull. It's bull. Bull, the 8th month. Bull. It's bull. It's bull. After the 7th month, we have bull. Bull. Very well. We'll enter into, or Heshban also. You do like Heshban? Okay, Heshban. But both names are valid. Either way. One is more Hebrew, the other one's more Babylonian. It's all Babylonian. Either way. So then the 8th month is called Heshvan, or Bull. We'll turn to the 8th month on Wednesday. In other words, Tuesday night, Wednesday, everyone go out and look for the moon. Very well. I'd like to remind you that we offer freely for everyone in the eternal truth or not of the eternal truth, a help that actually, if somebody were to offer it in the world, they would charge more expensive, but we offer it without any cost, monetary cost, and even better than what they charge. And it is free. It is given by Angelina's consult. If you are going through problems and you have an open mind, because if your mind is closed, it won't be any good. If your mind is open to understand why things happen, the DHSs, what we feel, what is it that produces it, if it's the things that we don't see, the things the TV tells us, or it's we ourselves that go through different, diverse situations and emotions, and they show up in our body, showing what we live and how nice it is to understand how things work. If it were everything illogical like the world presents to us, then actually we live what we live just by random, and it isn't so. We are what we make the changes in our body. Aside from a biological clock, aside from all the curses that Yahweh placed upon us, He also made some rules that are not for me any good, part of the curses. But those rules, when we break them or when we don't fulfill them, then things come that are shown through our temple. And our temple reflects our interior state of feeling within. And when you relate the temple with the most holy place, which is the brain, then you see what is going on there. If we had a cleansing, if we need a cleansing, we need to take the sins out of there. It's all filled with things. It lived through things that you'd like to forget or you'd like to fix. And you didn't even notice. You didn't put them together in your mind. And so then, that is what we've got Angelina to show you what you've got in the most holy place, which you've got to change, you've got to take out and bring and modify. The consult is absolutely free, and I'd like to thank you for all of you that appreciate the service, and you send whatever you can, offer donations and offerings to Angelina. Very well. Shema Israel, YHWH Eloheinu, YHWH Ekhad. This is the main base of the heart, the very center of Scripture, the very center of our religion. Our religion is a religion that is absolutely, I'd like to mention this, Jewish, because it speaks to the Jewish. It says Shema Israel. Who's talking to? Israel. So then what are we? It doesn't say Shema Christians, Shema Adventists, Shema Catholics. No. Shema Israel. So then, who listens? Israel. Who are those? The only ones that can listen to is Israel. So then, this is a religion that is netly Jewish, different to the rest of the brands. branches of Judaism however they want. The wise men on one side, others on the other side, the Orthodox on another. But either way, we've got the same heart, but because we came from the scripture, and especially from the Torah. The Torah says, Shema Israel, Yahweh, our God, Yahweh is one alone. Coming out of there, we notice who we are, Israel. But of course, with Israel, there are many connotations. You've got Israel and that follows things, and the Israel that becomes Babylon. The spiritual Israel that people believe in. Sometimes you've got the Goyim or the Gentiles, and there it is an endless number of things. But for us, Shema Israel. It's like saying Shema LVE, Israel. YHWH Eloheinu, YHWH Ekhad. Proverbs 25:2. Glory of Elohim is to conceal the word, yet honor of the king, or glory of the king, is to search out the word. The word is concealed. That's why there are so many interpretations. That's why sometimes we believe something and we notice that there are other things. That is all the walk of the eternal truth. The word is concealed. The invitational text, very same one as last week. The title of last week was not a part of this series, but if you're watching this series and you want to understand what I'll speak about today, I did not. I created a list that's a playlist. Well, it's a playlist, right? There's no translation. Just a playlist of Babylon, Revelation 17, the 7 kings, and the end of Babylon. There is a playlist on YouTube because they took out our account. Of course, the other account is gone. We already know that. So then we made another account. And if this one leaves, it will make another one and blah, blah, blah. The original one that was with us since 2009, with us, that one is gone. And many were left from this series because of this series. It was because of this series that it was gone. And you can see it in the other channels that we've got. We need new people that don't even know. They said, where can I see that? Go to the other channels that are Rumble and Odyssey. Channels that many don't even watch, but the people are not going to find new things there. They come to YouTube. But if you that have discovered this in YouTube, that I could say in a speaking code, you can go to those channels and see all the entire series entirely, the series with the chapters that made us leave YouTube. So then, actually, it is the part that I've already spoke of last Shabbat that is short. It is part of this. If you didn't watch it, it is a part of this. It was called Sukkot 2023 because it was given on the 6th day of Sukkot, when the 6th day was ending, about to when the 7th day was about to begin, and there was a question, not an affirmation, not like in 2011 that we said 2011 Christ will come. This was a question. Will the 7 cups be completed? If it's a question, it is because we did have a certainty of what would happen. At least I did not dare to say publicly what would happen because obviously no, it's just an interpretation. So then it is different. Do the 7 cups will they be completed? No, well, after given that subject, we all went to enjoy the game, the soccer of Boca Juniors against Fluminense of Brazil. In the final of the Cup Libertadores 2023, the Flu had never won anything, and Boca had 6 cups already, and everything indicated towards the 7th one to be won from many points of view that you already know. We don't even need to repeat them. And from what we were waiting for a special result in that game, an emotional game. Boca didn't play well, actually, in my point of view. I told you that Almiron, the coach, is a very bad coach. I've told you that. A very bad coach. he never understood what Boca Juniors was, which is a team that goes out to fight, and if they lose, they lose, but given their soul, they're giving their life. We didn't see that. There were players that were just walking, that didn't care. They would be slapping people around, and they got kicked out. But it was not able. We were not able to define it in the 90 minutes, and we have to go to an extra time. Today, we'll talk a little bit more about that. It was very interesting, very intense in that aspect. Not soccerly speaking, but looking at it from like a Boca fan, seeing that your team does not play at all. But either way, with the little bit that we had, we were able to tie the game, and that took them to extra time. And that is where it was lost. And no matter if it's fair or not, we were waiting for a divine message through that. Because the stones speak. It's not something crazy on my behalf. It was all given in the special date, in a place that's special, with the followers of that club in doing tabernacles in Copacabana, many things that you already know about. So then the text says, Psalms 78, 1-2, the new Spanish version, "Hear, all my people, my teaching. Pay attention to the words of my boca, which I shall open, my mouth shall be open, pronouncing a sentence." It is very well defined there. It says that he will speak, but he will pronounce a sentence. Interesting. Allowing old prophecies to come to true. Maybe, or more, one of you could say, why does he mix what is profane, which would be soccer in this case, a club that has nothing to do, religiously speaking, with the Bible? Should we not rather talk about the Bible only, what God says for us? Well, I am not the preacher, the normal preacher that people are used to see. I see in the creation of Yahweh a pattern. That pattern is a pattern that's universal per se, everywhere. Paul said that the creation of Elohim is seen everywhere, evidently. Everything gives glory of the creation of the design of Elohim, the story. What happens? Not only what the Bible says, and I do what the Bible says. No, the Bible teaches that this whole world, and what happens in this world, is related in greater importance or less importance with the story of this world, prophetically speaking. Yeshua says, look, when these things happen, Yeshua says, look, at the fig tree. Look, how are we going to look at the fig tree? What does the fig tree have anything to do? It's a tree that I've got. How are you going to tell me, look at the fig tree? You can't talk to me that way. Of course, that is the way that when you start to understand the language of Elohim, you see that it is not prescribed. In other words, only in the Bible. He shows us to look everywhere. If he says, look at the fig tree and the rest of the trees, in other versions, in the other Gospels, when you see that it is flourishing, then know that it is the last generation. But you know how many times the fig tree flourished ever since Yahweh left, dressed in human form? 2,000 times. It's been 2,000 years ago. Every year it flourishes. And it flourishes in twice a year, because it flourishes once here and once in the southern hemisphere. So which of them all do I have to watch? Every time that it would flourish, is that the last generation comes. No, it isn't so. The word of Yahweh is very different to something mathematic and exact. It is an interpretation in every aspect. It is an interpretation. So then if somebody dares to say, I'll do what the Bible says exactly, you don't know what you're talking about. This whole world is related like a fig tree, like a Satan that does not exist in the way in which the Christians believe. Like all the things that in parables Yahweh speaks of a farmer that went to sow. He went to sow that the kingdom of heavens is like a woman that grabbed a dough and she put 3 parts of flour and 1 part of yeast and hid it, and everything got leavened. But how could you compare the king of God with a woman? Some cook that is doing something you can't compare with that. Don't be like that. Of course. Absolutely, of course. It is all, everything's compared with everything. So then you've had the crazy idea of saying, why did Christian mix? Because I will mix absolutely everything. Even this spaceship that's called Avengers Queen jet with everything, I'll mix it. Because that is my style. That is my essence. If you don't like it, you already know where you can go. I'm going to mix the movies. I'm going to mix soccer and everything. As long as I have life, and I'll have life, I'll mix it all, because this is all we see the divine hand everywhere. Some guy with a beard, with a camel skin, was the servant chosen by Yahweh, and he says that is the most important one of them all. The people might say, how is that going to be? He's just a vagabond. He's not even speaking in the synagogue. Maybe a message from God in a synagogue, dressed like a priest, dressed like somebody that studies Torah. Where did he study Torah? Where did he study? Tell me, where did he study? What beliefs that he has? I mean, he's not even well dressed. He's nauseous. In the middle of nowhere, saying, how are we that come with the Torah, the sacred Torah, are going to study? So Yahweh says, well, that's nothing. I'm going to choose now 12 followers, and I don't want any religious person. Who are you going to choose? Fishermen. What? The most brutes? Yes, they were brutes. Actual brutes. Because everything, this that's around us has something to do. Your life has something to do. My life has something to do with it. It all has something to do. Gaza has something to do with it. Israel. The state of Israel has something to do. The thing is, what is the interpretation? So then the text says, hear, oh my people, my teaching, pay attention to the words of my boca. What boca is he talking about? His mouth? Yes. And I'll explain the way I want to, the way he taught me to teach. And I will open my mouth pronouncing a sentence, allowing all prophecies to be fulfilled. So then, if you listen to me, you could say, okay, we're going to pay attention to any idiot that talks about any stupid things, because the stars told him anything, because he saw in something else. Because he saw, look, let us pay attention to everything. No, we go crazy. No, go back. Go to the beginning. Who has the truth? Just pay attention to who has the truth. And what is the truth? Shemah Israel. YHWH Eloheinu, YHWH Ekhad. Only one God, only one being, only one person. There is no Satan. There's no Holy Spirit aside from him as a person. There is no Son of God aside from God himself. When you are before a person that tells you a truth that is absolutely certain and determinately, that is where you pay attention to if he tells you stupid shit. Not that it is that speaks any stupid shit. I can listen to some guy on YouTube that is telling me that, I don't know, the Zionists or the Catholics or the Jesuits, and all of a sudden he says, how stupid are those who believe the flat earth. That's it. Maybe I'll take some things, whatever I want. The rest, I think he's an idiot. I can listen to another guy that says, I am flat earther. But I believe that there is a creator that is not the one of the Bible, because that is Judaism, and they are those that dominators or whatever. But I believe in a creator that goes way past it. Okay, that's it. It's over. That's it. I'll pay attention to him in certain things, but I can no longer pay attention to him, to every detail that he says, nor does he has a lot to teach me outside of what we are in agreement with. But when some guy says it's something that you really believe, there everything changes completely. It changes absolutely. It changes absolutely. It's a game changer, because if Elohim gave him a truth to develop, and that truth has been growing and discovering and taking an authentic truth unique in the world, then it is something to pay attention to, even if the people may believe that they are stupid things. Like, for example, How are we going to watch on a Shabbat on the 6th and 7th day of Sukkot a final of soccer and expect for God to speak us to those idiots? One is more an idiot than the other. One is more of an idiot than the other. How's God going to be there? Speak to us about the Bible, what Jesus said. Well, if you don't understand what I just said, then you belong to a different group. A different group. In this group, we believe that we could even make this ship have powers. That's the way it is. But why? Because we've got a base that's very solid, the most solid that exists. And then Yahweh says, look, I will make riddles. So then, first of all, I'd like you to know clearly that the result obtained of the match of Boca Fluminense, it is because of you. Like I said before, if Boca loses, looking at the future, prophesying like Yeshua would say, Cephas, that he didn't know how to prophesy. Prophesying, I said, pay attention to my words. It is because and due to your fault that Boca lost. I know that you could be sad, disheartened, let down, upset, furious, and you could even feel let down, disoriented, and even abandoned due to what happened last Shabbat. But I'll repeat this again with my whole heart, believing every word of what I'm pronouncing, every letter, the result obtained of Boca Flu was due because of you, judges of LVE, like I already told you. I'd like to thank and recognize and congratulate. And this I say in the name of Leslie, Angelina, Brian, and of course myself. Every one of you, to your show of love and unconditional union towards us, towards the eternal truth. I personally had never seen something like this, not even compared with of such valor and a demonstration of unity and Ekhad that's incredible, without having understood what is going on with something that apparently is against us, against of what we believed in. Nothing was broken, but rather it became stronger. There is a phrase that I like a lot that means, when you lose, you learn. If you win, you don't learn anything. Keep that, because it's very good. Every time you win something, you didn't learn anything. If you lose, that is when you learn. You, the eternal truth, were completely one, just like that. The word Ekhad, as it is used in Bereshit when the people were one. Their language was one. The words were one. You, the eternal truth, all became one with us. You kept us apart, separated, which is sanctified, from the mark. Let's start with that. Every one of you, true judges, one with us, have stayed apart, sanctified from the mark of the beast that surrounded you everywhere, round about, trying to flood you and drown you and mark you through your family members, the influences, the social media, the news, the whole system of pharmakeia. But you chose something and you became one with us. in having the pure blood and irreprehensible. You accepted the call, you dressed in black without having comprehending why. You didn't even question it. I asked you to be dressed in black, and you were dressed in black. You all condemned and were sworn in to sentence the whore as one. You desired, you loved, visualized, you made an effort, you were sacrificed, you sacrificed yourselves, are still sacrificing yourselves due to getting something that I presented you. Something that you saw such a value that goes way past what many of you could even spend. And now you wear it proudly, like the summation of everything that you believe in, summed up in what this unity is in a ring that bears the name of the eternal truth, in something that the world does not understand what it means, does not even understand the words, does not understand the letters, and even less they understand what is written within YHWH. But you comprehended it 100%, and not just comprehended it, you desired it. You were sacrificed, you ordered it, and you drove me crazy and Leslie in sending it, but you got it. And you became one, and all of you that we bore this became one, a society, absolutely secret society for the world, because it's not secret, because I explain everything that this means openly, but no one understands it. It's like if I spoke in Chinese, but you that understood it, you took it, you grabbed it, and you said, this is mine. It has to be mine. This is mine. This represents what I am. You became one with us in this white stone, that for the world it has no value whatsoever. You got to something, certain things, that is unthinkable. Even yesterday I was listening to a soccer program that said you could change anything, family, even have a different woman, even different husband. But there's something in life that you can never change. You can change your nationality because you nationalize yourself, but there's something that you cannot change because it's something that goes way past. That when they seal, when you're younger, you can never change. And that is a fan of a soccer team. Of course, those that are not fans don't understand this. They don't understand it. I speak to those that are fans. That we have, because that they demonstrate how we break the rules the way we want. The rules that for the world, they are pre-established, cannot break them. The eternal truth breaks everything. Because we break the concepts. And you even burned jerseys from the club that you always loved, that you always were related to, that you always watched, not for an hour, hundreds of, not even thousands of hours on a permanent basis, that you believed that those colors were a part of your being, and you to change them to the contrary team. That is something that is absolutely incredible, marvelous. Those that were of that team already, well, they changed other things that I've been naming, but those that weren't became one with the eternal truth. Did you know that this Ekhad was absolutely positive? If some of you think that we were defeated, no, we're victorious 100%. We demonstrated, and we demonstrated to ourselves, because we don't have to demonstrate to anyone. We could give a fuck what the people believe or see. But maybe we demonstrated to YHWH that this group is ready, because we are able to change the things, the most difficult things and impossible to change, due to keeping as one, Ekhad, one. You say, what? Did this final have anything to do? Yeah, it united us all from diverse groups. So to not say entirely enemy team of what Boca was. For example, River. And for them to switch over, even if it's difficult, for them to switch over to say, my love for the eternal truth, my love for this group is superior to it all. I'll change everything. Don't even mention the parents, because we switched the parents. Before they would get offended if it's called you son of a bitch, you no longer get offended, because you understand my words. You understand my words. When the scripture says, only lies were the inheritance of my fucking mother, pardon me, it says of our fathers. It's the same thing, because they lied to us. You comprehend that. You change that concept, which is the most important thing is your mother in life. No, your mother's not the most important thing. Not the most important thing. The most important thing, it is the pearl of great price. And you sell everything. You demonstrated that. You demonstrated that in a way that is something absolutely, you cannot even describe it, to see it. That it's a group that is united, different nationalities, because we were born in different nationalities. Because we were born in different nationalities, you were able to say, I am Argentinian. Just to name a country, because the country that I told you, and you put it up. You didn't say, but I want to continue being a Mexican because I have Mexican blood. No. You said it openly. I am Argentinian. I was born somewhere else, but I'm Argentinian. Because an Argentinian is born anywhere, you said. You switched flags. You switched flags. For you to put up an Argentinian flag, white and celeste, instead of the flag that you always swore to and sung to, that is something marvelous. You don't see that anywhere. You changed your national anthem. Every one of you understand clearly the national anthem that we sing, which is, let the laurels be eternal that we knew how to achieve, crowned with glory, let us live. It's already, your national anthem is, you even find it something stupid. What am I singing? Of course I want to sing, crowned with glory, let us live. Let the laurels that we knew how to achieve be eternal, of course. Is something unbelievable what you changed to become one. You bought and you wore the jerseys blue and gold, where I saw you spent money in what you could. Beautiful jerseys. If you, not just that, you took pictures with the jersey, proud. That speaks of you in a way that Elohim sees and says, this group is one. Actually, in this group, if there's any internal divisions, small ones, everything was healed. Everything was healed completely. They're able to change intimate things that come from childhood. They'd say, what does that have anything to do? I change my country anthem, my flag, my jersey, my mother. I'll give everything because you've understood that you belong to a unique sphere that Yahweh called us to be. And this was a test. Maybe you don't see it. But this was a test that maybe some of you that I don't know tested you, and you did not measure up. You said, no. Also, I'm not going to say this crazy guy because he is a Boca fan. So he wanted to watch the 7th Cup. No. Yeah, I believe him. Yahweh Ekhad. I believe certain things, flat earth, the Germanic medicine and all, but not. I'm not going to go to where the guy wants to go because he's from Boca. And he wants us all to watch Boca, and he would like for all of us to wear the blue and gold. This guy's crazy. No, I'll continue to be what I am. That's as far as I'll go, and that's as far as I'll go. Because Yahweh made a group that not of fanatism, but that does it due to love, because they want to be a part of one, they want to belong to something, that we all feel one soul heart, one soul feeling, unity. Unity like we saw back in the Tower of Babel, but contrary. And Yahweh says, no, I don't like this. The people are one, has only one thought, or false thought, and to top it off, they use only one language, they only have one flag, only one song words. No, and this goes against my plans. You know what? I'm going to destroy that mission. But for him, he had to create something similar. The Messiah. The Messiah does not have different flags within the body of the Messiah. I belong to this one, and I belong to this one. Because I'm Colombian, Chilean, or Spaniard. He's Argentinian, that's fine. But we're a group of Spaniards, Argentinians. No. We are one alone. We are one alone. And that is difficult to teach from the very beginning of a ministry, because if one wants to teach that, they all leave in 2 minutes. This guy's crazy. What's his problem? That is our path, and the trust that is transmitted of the one that speaks, of the lineage, the entire lineage. So then you develop that confidence, that love that becomes a love that goes way past the things that we loved. We left them behind, and a unity that's unconditional, it becomes inconditional. When there's no union, the Messiah as one cannot exercise a work, a task. I understand clearly that when the Messiah, the Son of Man, the sons of Elohim, are shown unto the world, they are one. They are one. One's not going to say, I'm from Costa Rica, you see, I have my little group here. Well, I belong there too. But no, I am one. The eternal truth is one. When we get together, the countries are over, the national anthems, your flags, it's all done. We're only one heart. Only one group of fans. That's what's marvelous. We don't celebrate the days that the other groups celebrate. We have our own calendar because we understand it. It's not that something that I see in a vision. No, you can calculate the calendar that I taught you, because everyone knows how to calculate. That Yahweh said that the months, the feasts, and the days, and the years are measured exclusively through three. The sun, the moon, and the stars. Not the barley, no, algorithm, none of that. But rather the sun, the moon, and the stars. So then everyone can know when we have to add or not a month. It's not that I all of a sudden say, you know what, I think that we're going to add this year a 13th month because I said so. And you follow me? Okay, no, you understand it. That is what makes us strong. That is what a true, ill-used fan, as the word is used. But someone that understands. That confidence that you have developed in the eternal truth, from the moment that you understood that there was only one being that's called Yahweh, unique, Ekhad, not the union of two, doesn't have a divine son that he sent, not even an angel that is contrary to him and wants to steal the throne. From the moment that you understood that, not just understand that, you became one in the message and everything else that you proved. When I taught you the Germanic M, you, at first, maybe you thought that it was difficult to understand, or maybe kind of crazy, but then you were starting to understand. You were proving in yourselves how this works. Difficult things, something that we can't fix sometimes, but we understand the problem, and we understand what causes it, and we understand that there are things that are very complicated to fix, but we understand that it was not just at random. That develops in the person, a faith, a faith that is unbreakable in the leader they follow. Because when you prove what they are teaching, you say, wow, with this guy, even if he says wrong things, he made me to understand the most precious things and elemental things of this world. But of course, if he says, wear the blue and gold, I'm going to wear it. Of course, if he tells me, dressed in black today, I will, because I don't need to understand everything, because I understood the maximum thing that you can understand. So then I'll give him that absolute trust, because the rest, they make water in 2 minutes and they say something stupid in 1 minute. So then you have demonstrated that this group is ready, is united, is in only one heart, that the eternal truth is an Ekhad. You changed your religion. You changed your beliefs. You changed your country, national anthem, clubs. You've done everything to join us. You enjoyed this, had illusions, you suffered. Due to something that you made part of you, the colors, the true feeling, that only spirit and one soul heart, that before not even you experienced that you could feel due to something, and you incorporated and suffered it. And due to that, you suffered the defeat. You suffered the defeat when before you could not even care about that there was anything to suffer about. You incorporated it, you made it your own, because we are one. You see how the Messiah could not show himself unto the world, being some from Boca, a river. You cannot. Even if it were to seem crazy, Elohim says, no. My bride, my sons are one in every sense. They're united. If one says, let's go to the right, they all go to the right. They're not divided, because they understand it. It's not that they are sheep, okay? No, because they understand it. They bear it in their heart. Look, the Boca fans are not sheep. They love the club. And of course, that when the club doesn't give them what they want, they insult them. But they don't leave their club behind. They love him just as much as before. Whether they win or lose, they are from Boca Juniors. And here, you demonstrated that whether they win or lose, you are of the eternal truth. And the messages that you put up in the video, I enjoyed them. I didn't tell you, but I enjoyed them completely. Because I didn't see a group that was defeated. I saw a group with pain. I saw a group that was suffering, but with the spirit, the strongest spirit. The strongest spirit. What indicates to me that they have the strongest spirit? You express yourselves and you say, no matter, we have to wait. No matter if Yahweh tells us that we have to wait. We're here. We're from LVE. No matter if we didn't win it this time, we're going to win next year. Next year we'll win. And if Boca does not enter into the Libertadores Cup, well, it'll be the next year after that, because they're about to not enter into the cup. Maybe they don't enter next year. We'll wait for the year after that. But we belong to something already. We're not from Boca, we're from the eternal truth. And that is what I saw in the Sukkot. Left us with a spectacular sensation. I can't describe it. I can't describe it. Such a sensation that's magnificent, magnificent. I cannot be more thankful and proud of you. That is why it is because of you that Boca lost. Now I'll explain. I cannot, or we cannot be more thankful and more proud of you, my brethren. I'm going to place that word because it goes there well. My brethren, my friends, supreme judges of the eternal truth. Thanks, thanks, 1,000,000 thanks for everything. Today, we are more one than ever. Today, we are more LVE than ever. And you know what? We didn't lose, nor anything has been set back. It has been fulfilled. I'll repeat once again. You know what? It is because of you, because of your fault. We didn't lose, nor has anything been set back, but rather it's been fulfilled. At first, I had not understood it. Actually, the role has to be developing in order to be understanding. I can anticipate certain things, but when the message of Yahweh starts to be shown, barely when it's shown, that's when I can understand it. I can't anticipate into the action. Yahweh doesn't want me to do that, or else it would not be a test for you. If I had said, Boca has to lose, we would have celebrated that they lost, and what would we have gained? Nothing, because it was fulfilled what I said. It had to be shown an apparent contradiction, brutally contradictive, an apparent letdown and sadness in order to demonstrate whether this group was united or not. Whether this group, they're going to say, you see, nah, I'm going to go back to my chicken coop or hen house. Or, nah, I don't want to listen to anything because all the stupid shit you say, nothing is fulfilled, and actually I live better without that whole Russian roulette of emotions. I go up and down, but I go way down when my stomach goes out of my mouth. And I no longer want to feel that. I want to walk slowly, to be taken with a wheelchair without accelerating, to be placed up here, and then such a curve to be thrown where I go up against the wall. I don't want that. I don't want that whole path that's absolutely charged with emotions. It's not for me. I want to kick back life as an old man. It didn't happen.
And we didn't get anybody to complain.
Not one complaint. Not one message. Not even trying to pick up my spirits because they thought that I was down. No, nothing, none whatsoever. In other words, no reproaching messages. They were all encouraging, per se. All positive comments. If this is not fulfilled, then we're still here. It's not a given, we're still here. Wow, not one sole message expressed that I know of, publicly or privately, that they were let down because of what I taught. No, none whatsoever. That speaks a lot about this group. Way too much about this group. And you know what? Boca Juniors, prophetically speaking, and symbolically speaking, could not win and take the cup. Of course. It's because every symbolical application has a limit. For example, Pesach, Yeshua would die during Pesach, what would represent the whole Pesach thing. But it would never be a resurrection of the poor little goat or the sheep. No, he would die, they'd eat, and that's it. So then that could not represent it because he resurrected. No. Every symbol and story has its limitations. We have to know what every single thing means and not to go further than that because the symbols are not complete. It represents only one part, like Pesach. Pesach would represent death, and the resurrection, what about that? No, he'd be dead only. Eaten up. And the rest burnt. And we could go feast by feast. We could see Yom Kippur. One alive, one dead. And where does it... And if he didn't die in Yom Kippur, you know how nothing is perfect because it cannot be represented in parables, something perfect. Sort of like the kingdom of heaven is a woman that hid flour and put some yeast in that leaven the whole flour, and it has its limitations, but it has to teach something that the truth, the eternal truth, that is minuscule, but hidden in a group of people and in the entire world. It will leaven everything. That is what it means. That is what it means. That the rest of the world is flour, but they need the leaven which is live, which is the Messiah, so that everything would grow, or else nothing would grow. That is the meaning. We can't go further than that. So then Boca Juniors had to lose. Prophetically speaking, they could not acquire the cup and keep it and take it home. They couldn't. You say, when are we going to cast it then? When are we going to pour it then? That I didn't understand. That's why we went through the situation we went through. First of all, to test you, Yahweh says, Yahweh doesn't need to test us. He demonstrates to us in what state we are. He demonstrates to us in what state we are. So then, prophetically speaking, Boca Juniors could not take that cup. They had to hand it over to the flu. Because all these symbols are real. Boca had to give it to the flu. They can say, no, flu, I won't give it to you. If the flu represents the mark of the beast, the flu, with that name, designed by Yahweh, so that this final be played in this time, precisely in this time, it all means that Yahweh pulls the strings of everything. He says, no, if you don't give it to the flu, then the flu is immune. Left in the one that has to drink it is the flu, not you. Let's see if you understand. And with this that I'm explaining, we can start to understand everything that I read to you last Shabbat, but seen from a different angle. It is the cup that must have been given to the flu, the mark of the beast, which for them to take it, that mark or the flu, and to drink it. Everything, there was no doubt. Yahweh put sevens everywhere, even in the year 2023. 7th month, 7th day of tabernacles, 7th cup. In order to give us, in my mind, well, before saying what I had in my mind, let's say if you gave us a like. I ask you, if you like this video, if you agree with my words, if you're one with the eternal truth, the whole world that is one with the eternal truth, give us a like and comment the video, even if it's something short, even something super short, and comment on this video saying, at least I am from the eternal truth. I am one in the eternal truth. I'm not just one more, but we are one in the eternal truth. The whole world of the eternal truth that is listening to me, that usually doesn't comment because already either they're lazy or they forget and they say, many other people's comment. I ask you to comment. I want to see you. Just like that, because I want to see you. We've got 286 likes, 310 people watching, 286 likes. Now it's going up to 290. Now I'm going to tell you thank you. Just like that. Thank you for your likes. And remember to comment. Not just comment in the part. When I say comment, thank you for the greetings. Exactly. Many thanks for all of your greetings. When I say comment in the video, is not in the live chat. The live chat is something that you have to, you comment whether you want to or not, whether you like it or not. But when I say comment the videos, when the video ends, then you can comment below. Those are the comments that I'm referring to. Those from the live chat, continue to comment in the live chat, but those are not the videos that I mean. The comments that I'm referring to, the comments that I'm referring to is that once the video ends, then you can comment below. I don't think you can comment now, right? You can't comment now. Right, once the video ends and live chat is closed, then you can comment. Those are the comments. Because maybe I never clarified, because I ask you to comment and you comment on live chat, but it gets lost there in the live chat. It gets lost. Comment everything you want on live chat, okay, mind you? But then after this subject ends, go and comment below. comment below, because this time always I give you hearts, but I really want to see if you comprehended this subject, if you comprehended the gratefulness that we all feel towards you. So then, what was there in my mind? Now, I will tell you what was there in my mind. In my mind, there was that the seventh cup was Boca's already. Now, I'm going to pour out what was in my mind. The title that I wish I would have used if I placed what my mind believed, the seventh cup is given to Boca. But since there was something in me saying it does not depend on what you believe in, but rather what Yahweh can do, that's why I put it as a question. Is the seventh cup going to be given? But in my mind, we already had the seventh cup, but it could not be for Yahweh to choose so many coincidences of seven. Like I've told you, he doesn't play with us that way. It's not that I'm adding crazy numbers, give us seven. No. It was placed in the seventh month, the seventh day of Tabernacles, on a Shabbat. It would go from the 6th to the 7th, and it was so incredible, the combination of the sevens that there was there, and I'm forgetting many, that Yahweh doesn't play with us. It was played in the most mystical stadium in America, the Maracanã, in a place that's absolutely filled with soccer fans, like Rio de Janeiro. There's a place where Boca camped out, which is called Copacabana, and it sounds like Copacabana in Spanish, which is tabernacles. In my mind, there's no possibility for Boca to lose. There wasn't. I thought, even to the last minute, that Boca would win in the penalties. I didn't want to. Even in the last minute, when the referee said it's over, I said, I didn't understand. Like Daniel said, I heard and did not understand. Same thing as Daniel, I heard. And also John, and I heard and I saw and did not understand. So then somebody has to come and explain to me. And I told you, now you have to explain this to me because I don't understand. I'm not sad. I wasn't sad. I was upset. I was furious. But I said, okay, we're gonna put music here. The dry law is over. We're gonna celebrate because whatever happened is that God spoke. Whether we understand or not, it doesn't matter. But we're gonna celebrate. I don't want people with an ass face or crying. Did I say that or not? Or am I making things up? Okay, because now people are saying, oh, now he's faking it because he was sad. Now, did you see me as sad, angry? Exactly. I said, no. Here, bring out, we put music, heavy metal, of course. Right, that I put a message, I put heavy metal music. I said, the dry spell is over. And did I say that or not? Let's enjoy. I don't want anybody embittered. This is not a funeral. We're enjoying tabernacles. And we're going to spend a good time. Then later I'll understand what Yahweh tried to say, but Yahweh spoke. And that's it, it's over. And that's how we spent this extremely well. Did we not enjoy it or not? Then later, we were watching movies till 3 a.m. I don't know, boys also were making this. There was a spectacular ambient. I know that a lot of you were sad because you weren't with me. Some of you were sad, crying. I understand. You had to go through that. It was a test for you. It was a test for you to see maybe you would get embittered and you'd fuck off and leave. I'm tired with this roller coaster. I don't want to know anything with this guy anymore. No, we spent an excellent time here. Super excellent time that we had here. So then.
And afterwards, that's when we looked at all of your pictures and all the comments.
Then of course. Without saying, I just said, well, we'll have to wait, something like that. I can't remember. But then later, I was just waiting for your reaction. That's why we didn't make a video. I was waiting for your reaction to see where you were headed. Whether you were going to use that to tell us all kinds of insults, or else to say, well, actually, better, you have to do better because I could have taken those very bad criticism as very bad criticisms. Yeah, I'm gonna go back to this. I switched the team and didn't help me for shit. You brought me bitterness. Something I was happier back in the hen house. Who knows? Who knows? Or I went back. Go back to the Bible, Christian. I think you messed up a little bit. I follow you, but focus. Find better focus. I would have gotten angry at those comments because if we say no, Yahweh directs us sometimes, and other times we don't. We're just being, So then we can all fuck it all to hell. So look, it's an hour and a half. And I said the least thing we're going to talk about is Gaza. Okay, but it's still in the same situation. So then, in my mind, the seventh cup was ours. We won it. In other words, prophetically speaking, symbolic, because it's all symbol. It's all symbol. Symbolically speaking, that seventh cup had already been given to Boca. Now that it has passed, I comprehend it. That Boca had that cup. Because it was up to them to win it or not. It was up to them. They wanted to play like ass, then obviously they could just fucking kick out the ball anywhere and just kind of like saying, look, you can win it. Boca, I'm going to use a very good word, conceded their cup onto the flu. They had it. It was theirs. They said, I don't want it. There's no need. I'll give it to the flu. That is the message. A clear message that I understood. Let's go to Jeremiah. Jeremiah, did you notice that the colors of the flu are the colors of the Palestine flag? The Palestine flag is black, green, white, and red. Black, green, white, and red. The colors of the four horses of the Revelation are white, black, red, and green. It says yellow, but it says green. It's a green that's kind of yellow, but it's green originally. Because it's a green of something putrefaction, something putrid. So the four colors of Palestine are just like that of Revelation of the four horses: white, red, black, and green. The colors of the flu are white, red, green. For some, where's the black? Look it up; it'll be there. I'm gonna sound racist. I'm not gonna say anything. The black was there. What did I say? The color black was there. There were 11 black colors right there. Don't fuck with me. The black was there. If you didn't see it, black was there. You had black, red, white, and green. That's it. It's over. Very clear. Okay. Just in case we company, because we have a good player in that color that made a goal on our behalf. You know about the reference. The four colors were there. That is the flu flag. What does that have anything to do with the four colors of the Revelation or those colors? If Palestine's flag are those four colors, and the flu that took this cup are those four colors against blue and gold, you say, wow. It has a certain connotation. Let's go to Jeremiah. Jeremiah 25, 15 and on. Had anybody noticed here? Anybody notice? Would that have those colors? Anybody notice that? Jeremiah 25, 15 and on, either one, but notice what it says about the cup. If we were to say it and put it up on the wall, okay, for thus saith Yahweh, in other words, the mouth of Yahweh speaketh, thus saith Yahweh, with what? With the boca, the mouth. For thus saith the mouth or boca of Yahweh, Elohim of Israel, take the wine cup of this fury. Who had it? In whose hand was it? It says, at my hand. Who offers it? Yahweh. Yahweh offers it. take this cup at my hand of this fury and indignation, and cause all the nations to drink, to whom I send thee. Those you don't drink it, don't keep it. He says, hand it out, concede it, and they shall drink and be moved and be mad because of the sword that I will send among them. Then took I the cup of Yahweh's hand and made all the nations, I conceded it, and I made all the nations to drink unto whom Yahweh had sent me. So then, the cup. This is a symbol. Me personally, even though I am a big fan of Boca Juniors, if they're talking to me on behalf of Boca, I could give a fuck of Boca Juniors. In the sense that I could care for them as a club. No, what I care about is the eternal truth. I was looking for the symbol, not for Boca to gloriously have another cup. Nah. It was all going to be a change of a system. A system will change unto the eternal truth. I wasn't looking for that. I didn't even tell you to buy the blue and gold to support that group. No, it's for us to get together and united to understand how Yahweh tells us things. And on behalf of that, unites us with one heart, evidently. So then, as a sports fan, I could give a fuck if Boca won it or not. Honestly, I could care less. As a fan of Yahweh and fan of the eternal truth, I started to see what happened, and I noticed marvelous things of all things that I'm saying. That we could not win it. It was ours. It's yours. It all indicates that it's yours. It should be yours. In fact, it is yours. It's the seventh one. This Palestine can't do anything against you, nothing. It's called flu to top it off. No, you can't. But what I had not understood is that Yahweh says it's yours. But grab the cup and concede it. Because it's the first one that will be poured. And you know what happened last Shabbat in Tabernacle symbolically? It was the first angel. And he conceded the cup into the mark of the beast. And what we will see from now on in the next months will be the result. Now, we have studied up until now seals, trumpets, and plagues due to throughout many Shabbats. And I said we're already living the first trumpet, seal, plague. Did you know that it is completely true? We were living the seal because the seal is a white horse that represents those that are dressed with white, the religion of the pharmakeia, the priest of the white robe, and that they come wearing a bow, a toxin in their hand, a toxin, very poisonous arrow, and they come riding, conquering, because they had already conquering the world, but to continue to conquer even more. Did that take place? Of course. Of course. Now the trumpet, I'll read it to you. The trumpet is when we started to doubt whether it was being fulfilled or not. And the plague, the malignant plague had not been fulfilled. It was not fulfilled. I'll read it to you now just in case. But before putting that two and two together, record my words in your mind. What you lived through on the Shabbat of the 6th day of Sukkot, on the 7th day of Sukkot, what you lived through in an emotional game that lasted for 120 minutes, and that the cup was taken by the flu, you symbolically saw the rendering of the first cup. And there is an estimate of what we'll see, the effects that I'll talk about now. So then, if this subject has grabbed your interest, this subject is absolutely incredible. Did you know that Yahweh does everything in perfection? The rendering of the cup, the flu didn't win at 90 minutes. In the official time, they didn't win. There was an extended time. 30 more minutes for each side. What does that have anything to do with it? That is what the prophecy says. Because Yahweh saith How long does a soccer game last? 90 minutes. But when you must define something in the final, like what happened with Argentina, also Argentina France, there's an extended time, yes or no? Okay. What does Yahweh say about the victory? This generation shall not pass. We got to 2018 in the time when the time was up. In the official time are the 70 years of one generation. It says one generation officially lasts 70 years. It says, but hold on. There are exceptions that can last up to 80. It lasts 70 or 80, depending. It says, and there is an extended time for some, which is a tribulation. Because, yes, those 30 minutes were such a tribulation, such a tribulation. So then Yahweh did not wrap it up in the official time, indicating to us, notice that the cup will be given in the extended time. And we've already gone past 2018, the official time. And how long is the extended time? Because in 2018, we saw the victory fulfill 70 years. That is where the game ended. I thought, okay, it's over, nothing happened. No, extra time. How long will it last? Whatever Yahweh, whatever the arbiter says. Whatever the arbiter says. So then will it last 10 years? Maybe it will, but I don't believe. I don't believe so. It could end abruptly due to strikes and due to a complete skull break. And I mean, if they start fighting there, it could end, right? It could end. Do you understand what I'm saying? I've seen so many games that before it ends, they all start fighting and they end the game. So that not necessarily does it end at the 120 minutes. They could all start fighting and a whole war could start, and so it's forfeited. How many times have you seen that? So then I am sure that in this game of the 10 extended years of the 70 of 2018 to 2028, in this extra time we did not get to 2018. It could have been interrupted, and it's already started. It has already started. That's why it's called GAZA. It's already started. So when they go, it's over. Because this will end as bad. What does it say? War, exactly. So then, I'm going to read to you. The sequence that I read to you last Shabbat. Already fixed. Revelation 15. Don't you find this to be magnificent? That this game, that final that Yahweh would speak to us, ended in the extra time. That's something fabulous, just like that, fabulous. Okay, Revelation 15. 5. Okay, Revelation 15, 5 to 16:1, but already the way I read to you, like I read it last time, I'm going to fix what we have to fix, that is backwards. Revelation 15, 5 to 16:1. And after these things I watched, and I saw open in heaven the tabernacle opened in heaven. A vision. It could be like a soccer game, same thing, because this does not exist. And one of the 4 living beings that do not exist gave unto the 7 angels that do not exist, because it's just a figure, the 7 cups of gold. They already had them, but it was not to keep them. Filled with the wrath of God that liveth forever and ever. And out of the temple, the 7 angels came out that had the 7 plagues, dressed with white linen. And we said, the best linen, the best one is blue, and shining, and girded with golden girdles about their breasts. And the temple was filled with smoke. I've explained this already. The body of the Messiah is unified due to the glory of God, due to his power, and no one can enter into the temple until the 7 plagues of the 7 angels were fulfilled. I heard a voice, a great voice that said from the temple unto the 7 angels, go and pour out, concede upon the earth the 7 plagues. Give the plagues, give them that they have. Which is it? We've studied this for a long time, and if I ask you, you're not going to answer. That's what I just tell you. They're going to answer wrong. Maybe. What are the 7 plagues based on? The answer is this. The mark. It's all the mark. The mark. Because of the mark, reaction of the mark, consequence of the mark, death due to the mark, and a fight due to the mark. It's all about the mark of the beast. How is this initiated with the mark? There is nothing aside in the seven cups of wrath that has anything to do with the mark. It's so initiated, and it is because of the mark. The most important thing is the mark. So then, we'll go to Revelation 6, 1 through 2, and I'll read in the Jerusalem 2001. That'll be the first seal. I'll remind you. And I saw, when the Lamb opened one of the seals, and I heard, as it were, the noise of thunder, and he said, come hither. And I saw, there was a white horse. Everything starts with this. This is the beginning of it all. There was a white horse, and the one upon it had a toxin, a bow. Literally, it says, it's not that I'm just saying it. The word in Greek is toxon. It had toxon. And he was given a crown. And those that have eyes to see can see it. A toxin and a crown was given, and a crown in Spanish is called corona. He went forth conquering, and to conquer. To conquering what? Conquering and killing, but the deaths have not yet been given. We have not seen anything yet. Everything that we've seen about the effects of the toxin are kind of like, I don't know, what, like the water, just a morning dew, just a drop there, drop there. You feel the condensation, but there's no rain. But when the first plague is effective, then it'll be a torrent of death. The one that died here and there that are dying, that could be hundreds of thousands, is nothing. It is just a drop in a bucket, but when they start to die, 1/4, 1/3 of the population, it'll be different. And when the mark, what does the mark say? I'm going to read to you what the mark says so that you see that it's not fulfilled. The seal, it happened. It did happen. It went out to conquer and conquering. Did they? Yes. The white horse killed everyone they wanted to. And now we go into the trumpet. The trumpet is Revelation 8:7, the first trumpet. And the first angel sounded. There are no angels, no trumpet, nothing. It's all symbolism, like a soccer game, same thing. And the first angel sounded, and there followed hail, symbolism, and fire mingled with blood. I've explained this to you, if you remember. Cold, heat in the blood, because it is what it's saying. I have to take in the key words because this message is for Yeshua. It is the wisdom of Yahweh, the true knowledge of Yahweh that He gives unto Yeshua. So then it's not for the whole world. The whole world will read whatever they want, thinking that God all of a sudden has 7 angels and He's going to start with something literal. No, it doesn't say that. This is a message for the Son of Man. that he is understanding this in the most adequate time. So then it has nothing to do with literal hail or literal fire or with fire falling. No, in the blood of the people that have the mark, they're going to start to feel hail, symbolically speaking, and fire, and that they were cast upon the earth, and the third part of the trees were burnt. No tree will burn, not a real one, not a literal one. It has a different symbolism. And all the white grass. Okay, was this fulfilled? No, it's in process. But the plague is the one that I care about. The cup. The cup which Boca, without any effort in the symbol, conceded over. Now I see that they had to concede it, but they had to play and take it to extra time, extended time. We're living in extended time to the 1780. We're halfway. We're 75 years into it. Wow, incredible. Revelation 16, 1 and 2 reads as follows. And I heard a great voice that said from heaven, you see that we talked about GAZA? I told you about the GAZA flag. Well, how was it? White, black, red, and green. How are the four horses of the revelation of the seals? White, red, black, and green. How is the flag of the players and the fans of the flu? It sounds very classy like that. How's the entire team? How are the colors of the club and all, with fans and all? It is white, red, green, and black. They're black. Excellent. What else do you want? You don't believe me? Look at it. Look at the Boca game, and you'll see the colors. It's all there. I mean, wow. I mean, this. Did I make it up? Well, you can't make this up. How am I going to make this up? Yahweh does all this. That's what I tell you in the little details. Yahweh really enjoys showing us things, even in the little details. What does it have to do with the war in Gaza? It has a lot to do with that. It is in process. In a process. Who conceded? Because everyone could laugh. Boca did not bring it. It conceded to whom? To the flu. Yeah, we conceded over to the club. Let's go to the plague. And I heard, I want to see something. Let's see. Everything's fine. Somebody could care less about this. We have more likes than views. Perfect than viewers. Very well. Remember, I remind you, if you like this subject, and if you understood how thankful we are with you, comment in this video. I want this video to have most comments. If my words are one, that we are one. For us to have more comments. Not repeated from the same person. I mean, from different accounts. Don't try to make up. I mean, comment every time you want. But you're not going to make up. What did you say? I'm trying. You're not going to make reality of me saying, because we've commented many times, and I love for you to comment. But you're not doing what I'm asking. What I'm asking is that all of LV that has an account to comment. That is what I'm saying. And if you want to comment many times, just one of you, that's perfect. That's perfect. Don't feel those of you that don't comment because one guy comments a lot. No, the one that comments more because they want to comment more times. And those that don't comment is because they don't have the spirit to comment. But today I ask you for you to add that into your spirit to comment. We have very little left on this earth, okay? Let us do things in the best way possible. Very well. Okay, now let us go into it. We go into the plague. And already, wow, 1 hour, 35 minutes. And I have spoken about the flu, I told you. I did speak about Gaza, pardon me. I spoke about Gaza. I told you how the flag was. I spoke some of it. Okay, Revelation 16, 1 through 2. And I heard a great voice that said from the temples to the 7 angels, go. And hold not, do not hold back. Do not keep him in the cupboard. Pour out, concede, give upon the earth the 7 cups of the wrath of God. And the first one went. There it is, the first one. And he poured out, he conceded. He lost his cup. Because once they pour it out, they lose it, right? It is to pour out what it contains. Poured out his cup upon the earth, and he came. What did he see? This is important. Up until now, it hasn't happened. But I have an estimate date of what could happen. I'm just saying, Yahweh, that is just an estimate, okay? This is just an estimate. I have an estimate date of when this could start. I have an estimate date, and I'll give it today. That from that date on, the first plague could start. But up until now, the first plague has never been seen. Why has it never been seen? Because it's in the words. The first one went and poured out his cup upon the earth, and a malignant and poisonous wound came. We know that it's not an ulcer, as it says in Spanish, but it's a plague. A malignant and poisonous wound, or an evil, poisoning wound. A pernicious one. I'm reading other versions that we used to read in English. It says an evil, poisoning wound. An evil, poisoning wound. Very well. So then I'll read this again. And the first angel went, and he poured out, he conceded his cup unto the earth, and a plague was caused, an evil, poisoning wound upon men, malignant ulcer, upon the men that had the mark of the beast, and that praised its image. Now pay attention to my words that I'm about to say, because this is wisdom for the Messiah. Nowhere does it say in the first plague, does it say that the men will die? Does it say they'll die? No. Now, what part of the first plague does it say that some that have had the mark of the beast does not suffer this? Does it say that? I'm asking you again. The text says that some that may have had the mark of the beast are in exception of not suffering this. Does it say that or not? It says that everyone. It says that everyone. I'm not referring to people that repented. No, take out those small exceptions. I'm talking about the presidents that got marked. Talking about all the soccer players that mark themselves, all the pilots, all the doctors in the world that mark themselves. I'm talking about all the nurses in the world that got marked. I'm talking about the whole world that obtained that mark, without any exception. When it is the indicated time and that the plague is effective, the whole world will suffer something. And they will suffer it painfully so. It's not simply a wound, not just an ulcer. That is just a translation. It says something that's malignant and perdition, but they're going to live it in their flesh, and it's going to produce pain. And in one way or another, literally, it'll produce pain. Because it says it's pestilent. It says that it is filthy, unclean, something notable, and it'd be great for a visible mark in the face that they cannot hide. That'd be great to have a wound that nothing could cure, but not just in some, here, there, and here, there. Somebody that falls at everyone. Absolutely everyone. All who used 1, 2, or even 4, at least 1. All of them go and suffer the malignant plague at the same time. Today the plague is activated like something activated. Yes, they all have it inside. And when they all have it inside, don't think evil. Get your mind out of the gutter, Minto. When they all have it inside, then trigger it all at the same time. No, that suddenness that we see is that in some people it has a collateral effect. I'm going to say a secondary effect. It wasn't the desired effect. The desired effect. It was the effect that did not have to happen. But well, Yahweh knows what he's doing. But he was showing how pernicious, the pernicious thing that they have within. He's showing that no one can take it out from within. When they applied it, they applied it. And you're no longer a virgin because they applied it deeply inside you. And there's no way of going back to being a virgin. I am a virgin. You are a virgin. Because the beast did not put it in us. But the rest, they placed it everywhere possible. They deflowered them even 4 and 5 times. Now could they take it out? The scripture says, and I'll read it again. And I'll read it in different versions. Let's go ahead and read it in Revelation 16:2 in the Spanish RV 1960, the old one, 1862. It says, and the first angel went and poured out his redoma, his cup, on earth, and he conceded it. He said, here you have it, flew. And a malignant plague was caused upon the man that had the mark of the beast, and upon those that worshipped its image. Let's go to the Nacar Colunga. The first one went and poured out his cup upon the earth, and all of a sudden came, not suddenness, a painful suddenness to everyone. And a malignant plague and pernicious plague came upon the men that had the mark of the beast, and that would bow before its image. Some are exempt here that no longer bow before that image. Let's suppose all those that do bow down. Let's go in English, which is so good. It says, and the first went and let what was in his vessel. Vessel is cup. No, his vessel came down upon the earth, and it became an evil, poisoning wound. It became. What the cup had inside became what? An evil, malignant, and poisoning wound on the men, upon the men who had the mark of the beast, who had the mark of the beast without exceptions, and who worshipped its image. It is clear. So then, everything starts with the mark, and that has already started, and it's already started in 2019. Well, the time comes in which the mark or the seal already has done its work. There has to come a time in which the seal closes. In other words, all that have to be marked are marked, or the ones that should not be marked are not marked, however you want to see it. So then, we proceed on to the trumpet and the plague. The trumpet is what we're seeing, and that they start to fall here suddenly, some problem in their blood. They all see that there's a problem in the blood. Their blood is a little thicker, they have a little problem, suddenness, problems in their heart. I don't want to be more specific because I want this video to continue and for the channel to continue for now. But the trumpet, you see that there's a problem in the blood. We can see that there's a problem in the blood, and the trumpet would indicate it. But the plague has not even shown up. When the plague becomes effective, they all fall, but not dead. They dropped, not dead, but marked painfully, wounded, exposed through it all. And do you imagine the presidents, the whole world? Everyone complaining without any exception. No one can say, "No, it's not happening to me." No, everyone, except for some that say, "Oh, what an idiot, I told you. We told you." You know how those people will be angry. Can you imagine the hate that those people will have against those that did apply it, against the system, against those that don't have it, against all those that laugh at them and those that are not suffering, but also against those that are suffering that they said, "You told me. You obligated me. You told me it was for my own good. You told me that I could protect my grandma with that. You told me that if without that I could not work. You told me all that. And now that, you know what? Now I will give you what you deserve." That gives a path to the second one. And what I'm going to say now, it's impressive. Absolutely impressive. It all has something to do with the mark. And the mark was given. And now, Saturday, if you lived it with us, we saw it live and direct. The whole eternal truth. The most impressive part of this is that every member of the eternal truth that are one, not those that are not one, because maybe some say, "I'm from the eternal truth." Those that are really judges and are one with the eternal truth, which only Yahweh knows who is his group that is one. We all saw how the cup was conceded over live and direct on a Shabbat, on the seventh day of the week, on the seventh feast of Yahweh, on the seventh month, on the seventh day of Sukkot. We saw it in the extended time and did not understand, but we saw it. Now that we saw it, now we say, "But of course, if I had known that, we would have given to them on a platter." But we would never have gotten to the extended time. If Boca really would try to lose, we would lose at 90 minutes. Do we agree with that? Because it was prophetic. Yahweh said, no, this will not end at 90 minutes. I'm going to demonstrate to you that I'll end this in the extended time. And you will give the cup to the flu. What does the flu represent? Not some soccer team with the white, red, and black and green. No. It represents the mark of the beast. The flu, Minense, represents the everything which the essence. Because what happened here was a flu Minense in the world that was let loose. In fact, they would call it Fluminense. It's just that they called it Fluminense Corona. And the Fluminense was crowned or not. They were crowned as a champion. The Fluminense Corona. And it is the first time and last time. That's the one. The first and last. So then, without us knowing, suffering, insulting, we saw the rendering of the first cup. If I were forcing this in anything, it would not coincide. And what is a coincidence? It is a conjunction of things that point towards the same thing. It is an incidence in conjunction. An incidence is that they converge. And a coincidence is that many things point towards one point alone. It's not just some things. This is, oh yeah, it sounds like chance. But many chances, they already become a coincidence in conjunction what becomes a reality. The flu had to be called the flu. They could not be called by any other name because it represented the mark of the beast. It represented the four colors of the horses of the apocalypse. It represented what comes next that we're already seeing of why they're going to hate the prostitute. What could the prostitute do that the world would hate her? To stay the way they were? No. I mean, we've seen it so many times. They have to advance even more. They have to start doing things that people to say, hey, no, hold on, stop. This is such a genocide, a lethal genocide that is unbearable. Yes, does the beast have something to do for them to be hated? Do you think they're doing it? It's just starting. So then they are all in this movie that is all the actors are doing their own role. Not just one alone, not just the prostitute are becoming like ever before. Because now the means have to reinforce a lot that they are right, when the general opinion is these are murderers, degenerates. It's growing from themselves. They start to do, how do you call it when the people get together? Manifestations everywhere in the world saying, "Hold, stop this," but it won't stop. They cannot stop it. Like also, the Pharaoh could not stop. Like also, Judas could not stop. They cannot stop. Also, Nathan, Yahoo will stop. That stupid idiot won't stop. He won't stop. He won't stop. He cannot stop. He has to fulfill his mission. And at the same time, we saw the rendering of the cup, and at the same time, the white stones were completed. And at the same time, the 1260, 1290, and 1335 have been fulfilled. And it was all because of a judgment we've rendered. And at the same time, what was completed was the mark. And now, what proceeds is the plague upon those that are marked. I'll sum up the 7 seals, trumpets, and plagues. First one is the mark. Second one, consequence of the mark. Third, judgment and division due to the mark. Fourth, testification and death of the 2 witnesses that we've studied already, but because of the mark. Fifth one, resurrection from the dead due to not accepting the mark, but by not accepting the mark. Sixth one, it's the beginning of the war of the Armageddon, so-called due to the mark. Seventh, the end. Complete victory in the beginning of the reign of Yahweh and of the Mashiach. Now we go on to the prophecy that I spoke to you about last Shabbat. Let us go ahead and read it again. Last Shabbat, I had 2 prophecies to give you. The very same prophecy, but the second part. And I didn't want to mention, not even, this is the first part, because I was going to make it be understood there was a second part, and I said in my mind, if Boca would not win, because I believed that they had to win, if Boca would not win the first part, if Boca does not win the 7th one and takes it, then I won't give the second part. I was going to give both parts at first. Both parts, I would say, with the 21st of Etchanim that we've seen already. But next to that prophecy, there's another prophecy of time. That it didn't even mention. Because first of all, I was going to give both things. But then I said, well, what if Yahweh says no? Why am I going to give the other one? Let us not waste time. And then I said, I'm not even going to mention to them that there's another one. Let's see. Let us prove that we'll take the 7th one. Then, after the game, I'll go live and give them the second part. And then after that, we all know the story. We didn't win anything. We gave it to the flu and let the flu to eat it. With their Jesus Christ, the biggest one in Brazil and America, for them to swallow it. For them to swallow it all. That were actually evil with us. There were bad people with us. And for the, I don't know if to call them the flu or Palestine. The same colors as what? Yeah, just look. Look at what they're wearing. Their jersey. It's all represented. Let's get anyone, the one that scored. Menos Cano's Argentinian. Cano's Argentinian. Let's look at Marcelo. Let's look at Kennedy, who scored. We have the 4 colors. The 4 colors. The Palestine flag there. And so is that by chance? Okay. So then, the first part of the prophecy helps us for the second part of the prophecy, and now that I give it as fulfilled, I can understand the first part Haggai 2, 1 through 9 in the 7th month. On the 21st day of the month, we divided it last month, last Shabbat. The word of Yahweh came through the prophet Haggai, saying, now speaking to Zerubbabel. Zerubbabel are not you. Zerubbabel is represented by Elijah. That is Zerubbabel. I've explained it to you many times. I'll repeat it because this is fundamental. Zerubbabel is the governor of Judah, or the governor of LVE. So then, Zerubbabel is Elijah. So then he says, speak unto Zerubbabel, the son of Shealtiel, governor of Judah, because you have to adorn this whole story. It's a prophecy. And Joshua, the son of Jozadak, the high priest, saying, and unto the rest of the people, but first to Zerubbabel, that would explain as governor. Who among you has been left that has seen the early glory of this house? How do you see this house now? Is she not like anything else before your eyes? I've explained to us, like clearly, it doesn't mean that we are nothing like before, like humanity was before the human body. Yet now Zerubbabel is not speaking about the temple of Yahweh, the physical temple, because this is a prophecy for us. In other words, it could be talking about the physical temple, but it's the least thing that Yahweh cared about, of course. Like also, we could be talking about the 7 cups of Boca Juniors. That is what Yahweh cares less about. It's a symbol. It's a symbol. What's important was not the temple of that time. It is what that temple mattered about, which are we. Zerubbabel, the important thing is those born in Babylon. Zerubbabel is born in Babylon. So then the guy who was born in Babylon is the governor of Judah, and is the Elijah in that figure. Speak now unto Zerubbabel and the rest of the people, saying, who has been left, I've read it already for now, Zerubbabel. Now we've understood after this. Now I've understood this after what happened on the Shabbat. Are you interested in what I'm saying? Are the people interested? Or are they gone? I can imagine they're interested because it is rather fabulous. It reads as follows. Now I understand this even better. Now it says unto Zerubbabel, in the 21st of this word, in the 21st, when Boca lost, when Boca conceded the cup. Zerubbabel, be strong, be strong. It says, be strong, saith Yahweh, be strong. Also you, O Joshua, son of Jozadak, the high priest, and be strong. Why does he say be strong and be strong? But what if we won the cup? He didn't have to say to us, be strong. We were already be more than orgasmic. Yelling for the 7th cup. Yelling with such a euphoria. No one is going to, a champion of the cup, you won't tell him, be strong. When there I understood, be strong, because what you're going to understand is not what you think. Exact. You're going to be let down in one way or another. Be strong, because it is being fulfilled. Do not lose hope. Don't stop speaking. And some idiot shows up that criticizes you. Don't allow any of that to affect you. Continue doing what you're doing and be strong. You could have been let down, but be strong. All of you people of the earth, talks to LVE and also to you. What happened last Shabbat, if we had read it, again, I read it personally, that's Saturday itself, and that is what the conclusion started of what happened. Why is he going to say, be strong, when if he had been a champion, I would have been completely strong. I would not fit in myself because I would have felt that I believed that Yahweh was telling me, you already have the 7th one. But when did we hand them over? Oh, don't you worry. No. Yahweh said, not just do you have the 7th one, the 7th one is yours, but you're going to hand it over, the 1st one. In symbolism. And then later, Boca is out of the scene, like Pesach. give this demonstration and we won't look at Boca anymore in a prophetic sense. It's not that they're going to have 5 again. No, it's not applied like that. It's that Boca got the 7th one. They had the cup. It was their 7th cup already had given to him. He says, you know what? You take it. That is what the symbolism ends. Boca, the Boca of Yahweh, the mouth of Yahweh, hands over the first cup to the flute, which is what we're waiting for. Sometimes I say, why don't I see this before? Which is what we're waiting for the plague to be poured over. The last thing we want is for that curse of the cup of a curse to take it home and to keep it in a cupboard and say it's ours. No, give it to them, he says. Yahweh tells to Jeremiah, grab this cup from my hand and give it to them. The angel has to go and give it to them. How are you going to take it home? No, take it. That is the symbol, and it ends there. And the symbol was given, and we did not understand. And quickly, I was able to visualize, Yahweh, let me see it quickly. Be strong, people of the eternal truth, all of the earth, saith Yahweh, and work. Don't stay there, saying, oh, if this wasn't fulfilled, then nothing will be fulfilled. Fuck it all to hell. No, no. Continue working. For I am with you, saith Yahweh of hosts. Now I've understood that any one of you had felt that Yahweh abandoned us. It's very possible that somebody feel that Yahweh was not with us. It's very possible, but Yahweh says, once you understand it, you'll see that I am with you and that I was in charge of you giving the cup over to the flute. If it was because of you, you would win it. I have to intervene so you understand the symbols. It says, according to the covenant that I did with you when you went out of Egypt, and we went out of Babylon, so will my spirit remain among you. Fear ye not. And the Holy Spirit of his is precisely the spirit that Zerubbabel has. It's as simple as that. I'm not saying it because I'm interpreting this. He clearly says it by himself. In John, clearly we understood. His spirit is his mouth. It's like the way he gives us the message. Like he's been accompanying us since we came out of Egypt, of Babylon. Since you came out of your churches, you're listening to the Holy Spirit every Shabbat that guides you. Let's go here. Careful. You know what? Let's not take anything from here on out. From here on out, the M Germanic is this. And of course, that was the Spirit. The Spirit showed us. The Spirit. Listen to what the Spirit says into the churches. The white stone was sent to you by the Spirit, but of course, this is the Spirit. It says, and I'll be with you, and I'll continue with you. Like when you came out of Egypt, you went out due to my Spirit. And 6. Because that's how Yahweh Sabaoth says, Jehovah of hosts. From here, a little bit, from now, here comes. We saw, symbolically speaking, the cup handed over. There's nothing we can do. It's kind of like the timer was started. It's as if the nuclear bombs were to started, or some very strong bomb. In a house that they are all bound, the timer starts. The bomb was there, but there's no activation. But someone came and they programmed the countdown. When did it start? On the last Saturday when it was given. What we thought that it was a letdown, it was a victory, but we didn't see it. But now we see it. From that very instant, but it was a blessing so great for the flute to win. Such a blessing. Oh, careful, I'm not going to break this. It was such a blessing to give the cup that now the heart jumps out. I'd have to be crazy to want to take that cup to Buenos Aires. I wanted to leave it there in Brazil. Yes, of course, I wanted to leave it to the white, to the red, and to the black. I wanted to leave it them to them. Leave it for them. Now that I see it, I start to sweat, saying, oh, good thing that you, Yahweh, are writing for this book. The destiny is written. It's just that we have to get to see it with our eyes. The destiny is already written. And the end is inevitable. It is inevitable for the flute to not to take the cup if they want it. And it was the exact time we were witnesses of when Yahweh said, now I hand the cup over and the timer has started. We have, the people have very few time for them to start to suffer massively, everyone, the consequence of what they did. Up until now, for example, just looking at it humanly, the whole athletic club, Boca Juniors, are marked. I was going to say the word, they are marked. Those of the flu are also marked. But they were all able to play well. They ran. I don't know if well, but they ran. Wait for this to be activated. You're going to start to see that soccer is over. Life in the world as you know it is over. Okay. Yahweh says that day, he told us on that day, last Shabbat, 7 days ago. Yet once, when? Now he gives us the date. The estimate time of when it could begin. Wow, it's been 2 hours already, so long. It became so long. And I have to speak about Gaza. Now, who wants to listen about Gaza? We're looking at something that has a lot to do with it. Yet once, that he said last Shabbat, once we gave the cup over to the fool, he says, be strong. You don't understand. But be strong. I'm going to give you something. What you did was magnificent. Give the cup over yet a little, and I will make the heavens and the earth tremble. It's all symbolism. All the governments in the entire world. To the last wretched fool. I'll make them tremble. The heavens and the earth and the sea and the dry land. Even down to the last wretched fool. I'm laughing at, what comes up out of my mind. And we'll shake all the nations. How many nations? We haven't ever seen that. The nations have joined under the mark and all, but they haven't trembled. They're going to tremble of what's coming. And it says that it's coming, but it says it. I'm going to read it to you. It says it. It says it. What happens? And I will shake all nations. And what will come? Who is it? How magnificent. And shall come the Mashiach, the desire of all nations. The flu had to win in order for the Mashiach to come. If Boca would win, no one would come. And it is because of you. It is because of you that we're prepared. Because of you that joined your heart, your spirit. It is because of you, the cause of the eternal truth. Because we are one, and Yahweh said, you're ready. Now, this will start. That is because of you. And I told you this before. If we lose, it'll be because of you. You didn't know what I was saying. And then I understood what I was saying. And I told you many times, it'll be because of you. And it is because of you. Better said. Instead of saying your fault, it is because of you. And the desire of all nations shall come. Who is the desire? The Mashiach, of course. And I will fill this house with glory. What is the house? The body of the Mashiach. He has to have glory. Not he has nothing. He has to have glory. Yahweh of hosts has done. Mine is silver and gold. It's not the red children of the bankers. It's not of these people that manage everything. It's mine. I'll demonstrate it to you. I'll give it all to you. Mine is silver. And silver, precisely silver, and argentum, that is so magnificent. Mine is gold. Of course, absolutely. We'll always have that. Saith Yahweh of hosts. The glory of this latter house, your body, humans that you'll have, shall be greater than the former. It'll be a lot better, a lot greater. You can't even describe it. Saith Yahweh of hosts, and in this place will I give peace. When the war ends, will there be peace? And then that silence, I had held my peace last Shabbat. But now comes the second part. Last Shabbat, I didn't even tell you there was a second part. You should have known it, because I give it to you every year. Every year, every year, I read this prophecy. Now Yahweh spoke. It is a rendering of the cup. It's so clear, absolutely clear. Let's go to Haggai chapter 2. Haggai chapter 2. And I'll read it. Look, it's better. Let me open from the Bible itself. Okay, Haggai. Let's go directly to read it from here. Haggai chapter 2:10 reads as follows. Immediately after this, immediately after 9, after he speaks about the coming of the Mashiach, in the 4th and 20th day of the 9th month, there's another date. If we had a date, on the 21st of Etanim, here Yahweh, and that date was right on there. I thought we didn't, but we did. We nailed it completely. 100%. 100% poured is the cup. 100% handed over. That's it. It's over. So now, that I did not comprehend before, now, this one is evident for it to continue now. If the 21st of Etanim, we lived what we lived, and you comprehended, and the 24th day of the 9th month. When is the 24th day of the 9th month? I'll leave it as a task. What did he say? Sandro? When is it? Let's see. Sandro, let's see. What did Sandro say? It's, where is it? I can't read it. Oh, exactly. In Kislev. Kislev. Well, what happens in Kislev? Kislev is the 9th month. You didn't know there's Bull Heshman. You didn't know that. You did not know we're going to enter Ale on Wednesday. What month will it be? Very good. And it's the 8th month. Okay, good. A month after that, what month will it be? Kislev, which is number 9. Good. What does the prophecy say? On the 24th day of the 9th month. And what happens on the 24th of the 9th month? Nothing to do with the 24th of the last month. But what happens? What is the 24th of the 9th month? It's the day before Hanukkah. Hanukkah starts on the 25th. So then, precisely, the word came one day before Hanukkah. But not just that, a day before Hanukkah. I want you to pay attention. Hanukkah, in the calendar that we follow, which is the correct one, not the one that the world has, of course. The calendar marks that it came on the 24th of Kislev, which is called, we say it, Kislev, Kislev, or bow down. Because to kiss the hand is to worship. We could say worship LVE. The whole world will worship LV. That's of course. That I'll tell it to you now. But well, Kislev. Let us not speak any more things. But it says, but this Kislev, 9 month, Kislev. The 24th day this year is Shabbat. Once again, he spoke on a Shabbat on the 21st, and precisely on the 24th day is January the 6th. And January the 6th is what? Day of the Kings. The Day of Kings. When it's about to become Hanukkah, it'll be another Shabbat, and then the word of Yahweh comes back. And if we already saw that the first part was fulfilled, might this one be fulfilled? I don't want to get anybody's hopes up, not even mine, because once again, we let down, but it's very interesting. It's immediately after. On the 21st, we saw what happened, and now you understand it. I hope you understand it. Did everyone understand what I said? Is anybody still sad? Or do they want Boca Juniors to win it already? Those true of Boca Juniors, the authentic ones, says no. Let the flu take it. Not the fans that don't understand anything. The authentic one from Boca Juniors Salvador says let them take it. The 24th day of the 9th month, which will be the day of Reyes, which in Spanish is the day of Kings, which is also known as the Epiphany. You know what the Epiphany is? The manifestation. That is the day of Kings. For me, I've told you this many times, but I'll repeat it again. I have to go to another part of the video. All of LVE, not just anyone that is watching this with their mouth open, without being able to understand what they're even hearing, all of the LVE, the true one, they celebrate Christmas because we are one. That's another point that makes us one. We used to not celebrate it, now we all celebrate it against the whole Messianic world or Christian world. Oh, that's satanic. That's a Saturnalia. No. We could give a fuck because we understand that in Christmas it's the most important one of them all because it's when Yahweh went into Mary. Let's suppose, very close to the 24th of December, so that it could be born on the 7th month. When is the Messiah born? On the 7th month is the Messiah born. And when did we see the handing over of the plague? It says, "Yet a little, and it'll come." So the Messiah is already formed. It's been born. You already know this. The Messiah is on earth. It's just that the Messiah is not been habilitated. First, you have to apply the first plague, and then what comes next is the desire of ages, which is the Messiah. So for me, as a child, Christmas was not so important. The gifts. Yeah, they would celebrate Christmas in Argentina. And since I was the son of the Adventist pastor, there's no problem. There were little presents, yes, little presents that would be opened at midnight. But the most meaningful presents, the ones that I wanted to wait for and I would die for, to go to sleep and wake up, were in those of the Day of Kings. Those were more important gifts. Let's say they were going to give me a bike, they wouldn't give it to me on Christmas. It would be on the Day of Kings. If I were to ask, I don't know, some tennis shoes, sports shoes, a PlayStation. It didn't exist. It's supposed to be PlayStation or no. They would not give it to me on Christmas. They would hold on until the Day of Kings, January 6th. We don't do that now. But I'm just telling you the way I was brought up in Argentina. Kings was the most important day. And also it means the epiphany, or the manifestation thereof. How impressive. How impressive. That day is the 24th of Kislev. That day is a Shabbat. And that day, Yahweh speaks again. You want to listen to what he has about to say? Very interesting what he has to say. On the 24th day, let's see, it's going to have to last a little longer. On the second day of Darius, then the word of Yahweh came through the prophet Haggai, saying, "Thus saith Yahweh of hosts, ask now the priest concerning the law, saying." I'm not going to tarry in explaining all this because I could present it with two very profound explanations of these symbols. If one bear holy flesh in the skirt of his garment, and with the skirt do touch bread, or pottage, or wine, or oil, or any meat, shall it be holy? And the priest answered and said, no. Yahweh asked him, this is a riddle. Yahweh asked him, you that are priests, this is not applied to the people. If you take in your skirts, let's say they had some, if you were carrying a bag, if you take meat for Elohim, meat of a sacrifice, that you can eat and you can take it and burn it completely in the altar, or you can eat it, but it is meat that is sanctified. In other words, you cannot be touched by the people. Let's say you take that. You touch anything. That sanctified meat. Does it make for the rest to be sanctified? The priest say no. So then, as a first conclusion, quickly, what's sanctified and you touch something common, you don't sanctify it. That is clear, right? Okay, here there are three. I'm going to sum it up real quick. I'm not going to tarry too much. It's very good, but it's not the time. Three things, Yahweh says. Things. Things that are holy or destined to a special use for him and his Messiah. Common things and abominable things. Or things, the word would be unclean. Three things. There's no more. Sanctified, used for God and his Messiah, the priests. Use of God and the Messiah, the sons of Elohim. No, nothing else. Common things, regular things, and unclean things. Three things, three categories in the world. Three categories in the world. The Messiah, the common, and the unclean. That's it. You start to identify already many things. I could say the Messiah, the two witnesses, and the marked. Because how are the marked? Unclean. Just like that, unclean. It is the mark of the beast. It is filth. They have to suffer. They cannot take it out of their bodies. Okay, moving on. It says, the priest said, no, perfect. Nothing sanctified, even if it touches something, does not sanctify something else. No. If it's not sanctified, it's not sanctified. What is not used for Elohim or the Messiah is not become Elohim or Messiah, of course. Thus saith Haggai. Another question. Not unto the people, the priest, the law, the Kohanim. If one that is unclean by a dead body touch any of these, shall it be unclean? I was thinking, I don't want to explain this. What are some of these things? What are some of these things? It's referring to everything that he said before. Before what he say? He said bread, oil, wine, meat, pottage, or any other food. But is it also referring to sanctified meat? There's a doubt. Doesn't say. And that, well, are you understanding what I'm asking here? What is he referring to with this? If an unclean due to a dead body, all those that are marked are already a dead body, walking. Zombies, the living dead, they're all marked from Saturday, not from below, before that, but from Saturday on. They're literally zombies. They don't know that they have but a little time, but they'll be living, but they're already dead. Just like that. My words are harsh, but that's the way it is. It's already determined. The cup has already been handed out. It's been handed out to that problem, that marked. So they are living dead. They have blood. No. They have hail, ice, and fire in the blood, toxin in the blood. Sometime, I don't want to mention the word that I've said. They have something that goes boom, and it goes boom in the blood, and there's a timer, and that's coming. So then the question is, if someone that's unclean to a dead body, he's marked already. If an unclean person by a dead body, somebody that's marked, someone that has the mark of the beast, the many explanations that I have with this, it's not the only one, but since we're studying it in this same subject, if one that is unclean by a dead body were to touch any of these things, shall it be unclean? So then, we, the priests, which are the judges, the Messiah, and the priest answered and said, it shall be unclean. So then what is the conclusion, quickly, without looking into it too much, that anything that were to touch one of these that are marked makes it unclean for me. Wow, I mean, it's brutal. But those are not physical things. We're talking about spiritual things and all the rest. And everything that they do and they speak and they affect. Very well. And Haggai answered and said, here is what's difficult to explain. so is this people, and so is this nation before me. Ooh. Haggai says, Yahweh, this people, who is that people? But are we within that people? Continue reading. It says, and answered Haggai and said, Haggai tells the priests. Then Haggai answered the priests, so is this people and this nation before me, saith Yahweh. He's speaking for Yahweh. And so is every work of their hands, and that which they offer there is unclean. Wow. 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 He's talking to Israel. And he's saying that every false offering unto God on behalf of Israel is unclean, Yahweh says. Wow. And that is true. And it is not us. Who is that Israel? It is all those that believe in the Bible, all of them. Because here, everyone enters. Who are the priests that are here represented through Haggai, Zerubbabel, and all the rest? That is the eternal truth. The eternal truth. They answer very well. They say, no, something that is unclean does not make something else clean, even if they touch it. No, of course not. What is destined is predestined to be holy. If something unclean, like those guys, touch something and everything that they touch is unclean, they make it unclean. They understood that perfectly well. So then this whole people that worship not you, not the priest, all those people that worships, their worship is unclean. It's more than clear. Their worship is unclean. How many churches do they reject the mark? There isn't any. They all embraced it. Some here and there, maybe occasionally, but as an organization from the Catholic Church and on, the Pope said, if you do not get marked, you leave the Vatican. For example, the Adventist Church said, Jesus is alive, and this talks in his life as well. The rest of the churches, but of course. But not just that. What God do they worship? It's unclean. They have a Trinity. And if they don't have a Trinity, they fear it and respect their worship it. Everything that they offer is unclean. What they believe is unclean. What those that believe in hell to suffer forever is unclean. Those that believe in a hell to die forever is unclean. It's all unclean. The whole worship is unclean. All those that bring and they believe in this book, it's unclean. All the Judaism is unclean. It's all unclean. Absolutely unclean. That is what Yahweh says. It says this whole people that says they worship me, it talks about God is unclean. It's all unclean. It's all contaminated. Filthily. So then I said I wasn't going to explain it. What did I get into? Because this is the date. This is something that is intermediate. In parentheses. It says now, then, consider from this day and upward. What day? What day? What day? What day? This is interesting. This is what day? The 24th of Kislev. Shabbat, the 24th of Kislev. Shabbat, the Day of Kings. January 6th. Wow. I mean, now you can consider from this day on, before a stone was laid upon a stone in the temple of Yahweh. Notice that it will not be visible. The Messiah won't. Stone upon stone is to make the temple of Messiah visible. It's already visible, but not unto the people. It says before these things were to happen, before all this, we have to go back. We have to go back. Before these things were to happen, they would come In other words, what he's trying to say, they would come measuring, eat food, whatever. There were 10. They thought that they were going to have this, and there was half. They would come to the heap of 20 measures. There were but 10. One came up to the press vat to draw 50 vessels out of the press, and there were but 20. It was all reduced. That is true. We've been like this since before, and all this has to do with religion and all the rest. And has smote you with blasting, and with mildew, and with hail. Of course, he did so. All types of winds he hurt us with. Flew winds, and with mildew and hail in all the labors of your hands. Yet ye turn not unto me, saith Yahweh. He's talking to the people, but of course talking to everyone that was hurt, the whole world. Consider now from this day and upward. What day? The 24th of Kislev, January 6th, the day of kings. Consider now, here comes the message. That's brutal. Now, right after this, I enjoy this because Yahweh spoke last Shabbat. But now, look at what he's going to say. That coincides extremely well with what will happen in what he speaks in the second sealed trumpet plague. Because it all has to coincide. It says, consider now in your heart from this day and upward, and he mentions it, from the 24th day of the 9th month of Kislev, from the day that the foundation or the base of the temple of Yahweh was laid. Consider it in your heart. What is it to consider? To meditate and start to rejoice, to analyze, revise profoundly, because this is coming. This is coming. Don't take it out of your heart. Meditate it and consider it is to think about it the whole time. Oh, what's coming? Now that's what it is to meditate. It's not saying repent. No, meditate. Meditate in this day and night. In your heart, meditate on the words that I'm saying. From that day on, it says meditate, for this is something that you will see the result thereof of what was seen on the 21st of the month. Is the seed yet in the barn? Yeah, as yet the wine and the fig tree and the pomegranate and the olive tree hath not brought forth. From this day I will bless you. What's it say? It says something very important. When November comes, in winter itself, that has to do with Israel. It's winter. And it says, meditate profoundly in your heart. Because, to be honest, I've never blessed you well. That is clear. That is so super clear. I don't know how we've made it up to here. Struggle to get here because blessings we haven't seen. We've had what's fair, but not to say, oh, how blessed we are. You are blessed with the eternal truth, but the whole aspect, the economical aspect, familiar, your work surroundings, it's not where you want to live, in that house where you want to live. You want to live in another house. In every aspect, we have not been blessed. We don't even have our own house. Some of you, at least in my case, we don't. Many of you may have, but maybe you want something else in a different neighborhood, different people. Always says, I have wounded you with everything, but I promise you something. He says, it's still not there. The fig tree, nor the grain, nor the olive tree has not flourished. It has not been seen, he says. We have yet to see Israel still standing. That's what he's saying, because that is the last one. When you see the fig tree flourish in the last generation, he says, you have not seen it. You have not seen the end. You haven't seen anything. You haven't seen absolutely anything. He says, but keep this into account, what I've never done before. From that point on, shall I bless you? Wow. On the 7th, he said, be strong, I'm with you. On the 24th, he says, look, from here on out, I've never blessed you. You're a disaster. The whole religion is abominable for you. From here on out, I will bless you. From when? From this Shabbat. What does that mean that he'll bless? I don't know. But I do hope for a blessing. I don't know. I don't promise anything because I'm not the one promising. It's him, okay, mind you. I'm not promising that I'm going to bless you. If I were to say that I'm going to give you something, I'd be already thinking and I'll fulfill it. But the one that's promising something is the one that has to bless us all. Me too. Me too. Every one of you. We are one. We are one. So then he says, look, from that day on, I'll bless you. On the 7th, on the 21st, you've been even wounded. Now I've explained to you, be strong, already stop. Leave everything behind, your troubles, and wait for Kis Eleve on the 24th day, another Shabbat, the 6th. From that day on, not even there, from that day on, I'll bless you. I'm not even waiting for that very same Shabbat for a blessing. I want that clear, okay? Not even that day. It says from that day on, I'll read it again. He says, it is not yet in the grain, nor the wine, nor the fig tree, nor the grain, nor the olive tree has flourished yet. Yet from, not on this day, but from this day on, starting from this day, what day? The 24th of Kislev, shall I bless you. So then, for now, we're going to continue fucked like always. Just like that. But from the 24th day on, from the Day of Kings, Dia de Reyes in Spanish, I'm waiting for a spectacular gift. Or also, I'm going to throw it in his face. If my dad were to say, look, the 24th, the Day of Kings, hey, you hold on because I'm going to give you something. Wow, it's going to be a rain of gifts from that day on. If he doesn't come through, then, like, always, I'll be like that, always talking like bullshit. Okay. And again, he didn't just stay there. Yahweh says, but hold on. Hey, listen, I'm not just going to tell you that I'm going to bless you. I'm not just going to say that the religion of the world is a disaster. It's abominable. You're the only ones that understands clearly. I asked you 2 things and you answered well. I asked you 2 things well, you answered 1 well. But Yahweh says, I asked you 2 things, you answered well, but the rest is a disaster, abominable. And it says, I'll bless you, but here comes the subject, brutal subject, aside from the blessing. I like the blessing, the rest I also expect. But the most important thing is the blessing, but the most important thing is what comes now. And again came the word, a second time, the word of Yahweh came into Haggai. In the 4th and 20th day of the same month. In other words, maybe he could have said in the first one, that's okay. He said, okay, now I'll come with another message. He came as a second time, the word of Yahweh into Haggai, on the 24th day of the same month, the month of Kislev, of Sabbath, the 6th of January, the 24th of Kislev, that's Shabbat. Speak unto Zerubbabel. Oh, it's not a message for you. It's a message for Zerubbabel, for Elijah. Elijah will let you know. But Elijah has to understand this. Speak unto Zerubbabel, governor of Judah, saying, I will shake. Now he does say what he's Zerubbabel saying. He understands this clearly. Yahweh says, I will shake the heavens and the earth. And Zerubbabel says, you've been telling us since you know how long, right? We're in extra time. Nothing happens. No, I'll tell it to you now, Zerubbabel. I will shake the heavens and the earth, and I will overthrow the throne of the kingdoms, and I will destroy the strength of the kingdoms of the heathen. What's coming up next is a consequence of the application of the cup. The cup was poured out. The cup was given over to the flu. And from the 24th of Kislev, we shall see not just a blessing to us, but precisely, identically blessed and cursed. Blessed us and they cursed. That's the way it is. Polar opposites. His people blessed, and those that are marked cursed. That's the way it is. So, but notice the kind of curse from the mark and what the mark causes. These that you're going to see here is the mark. It's the application of the mark. The date that the mark is applied, I don't know it won't be the 24th, it'll be from the 24th and on, but in the very near days after. It says, I believe that within this year, within the year, this one, that is the Jubilee, this year, because the Jubilee will end, I've already told you 2024, but once we get to the 12th month, the month of Adar, when we get to Adar, that is when the Jubilee ends. But then all this could be given now in the Jubilee, because or else it would not make so much sense. This prophecy, I'm going to risk it, since I'm not the one that's going to fulfill it. I don't know what Yahweh's going to do, but oh well. He says, speak unto Zerubbabel, to Elijah, the governor of Judah, governor of LV, saying, I will make the heavens and earth tremble. Because he makes the heavens and earth. Why does he do that? Because once the plague is applied unto the presidents, unto the judges, unto all the governors, all together, then you don't know what he's going to do. There is when the heavens will shake. You know what the heavens to shake is? Because the heavens is dog shit. What we see in the skies. What the fuck do I care about the heavens to shake? It's dog shit. But what has to shake is the sky of power. And they all shake because they're all marked. They're going to shake because they're all marked. So then it says, I will cause the heavens to shake and the earth, also the ones on earth. Don't you worry. Starting with those in power and down to the last wretched fool that got marked. And I will confound. Now it starts to explain, I will confound the throne of the kingdoms. What is the throne? All the presidencies. They will be shaken. Why? Because I tell you, they're not going to die. They're going to suffer the consequences, visible consequences, and painful what they did. I shall confound. Do you imagine a government that's twisted? This is Babylon and all the governments of the world. I shall confound the throne of the kingdoms. What is the throne of the kingdoms? Babylon is the throne. It is the woman that sitteth upon all the waters. That is the throne of the kingdoms. I shall confound the throne of the kingdoms, and I shall destroy the strength of the kingdoms. I know it's impossible to fight against the beast. Now, who is like unto the beast? Who can fight against her? No one, absolutely no one, even less minuscule, insignificant people like us that are crazy watching Boca Juniors and to see if Yahweh speaks to us, even less us. But what does Yahweh say? I shall confound the strength. Since he gave them the strength, he gave them the power, I'll take it out. He makes them to destroy themselves. And how? He tells them. I'll tell it to you later. He tells you later. And it's literally the second seal. Literally. I shall destroy the strength of the kingdoms of the nations. I shall confound the chariots and those that in them ride. I shall confound the chariots. He's not going to say tanks. He's not going to say submarines, plane carriers, all the types of planes. No, those are the chariots. You know, the chariots from before, it's the ones from now. From the jet carriers to the last missiles, planes, submarines, the whole fleet, the entire fleet. I shall confound. I don't want to forget that from, if it is from the 24th and on, what does it mean that it's the 24th of Kislev? What comes? I told you. Quickly, what comes after the 24th? Yes, I'm moving on. Right, the Feast of Hanukkah, which is, what does it mean, Hanukkah? Dedication of the temple. Dedication of the temple. So then Yahweh, the previous day says, look, from here on out, I'll bless you. Meanwhile, those sons of bitches, all the marked, I'm going to curse, but I'll even bless you. And what better blessing would it be that during the feast of the dedication of the body, the dedication of the temple, that's Hanukkah, when the temple was filthy, that's what we talk about, filthy things, our unmarked temple, not marked, but it is unclean due to the curses that he brought us. It has to be cleansed, and he says from here on out, precisely on Hanukkah, on the 7 days of Hanukkah, which are 8, because it's a second tabernacles. Look, he spoke to us in tabernacles, and then he spoke to us in the second tabernacles. That's impressive of what I'm saying. If you grasp what I'm saying, The final was in Rio de Janeiro. Rio de Janeiro means the river of January. It's a river that takes us to January. He says, I mean, that is too far-fetched. No! Yahweh spoke to us on a dog shit place that's called, it's a place called Rio de Janeiro. Rio de Janeiro. Janeiro is January. It's January. Literally, Rio de Janeiro means river of January. So they were headed to January, and on the 6th of January, the 24th of Kislev, he says, it is the pre-room to a second tabernacle. So if we had a good one this time, it'll be absolutely better. It doesn't depend on me, okay? We had everything with a good vibe here, but that one, he should makes us have a very good time. Yahweh should cause them the second tabernacles, which is the rededication of the temple. And this, I have no time to explain to you, but in Maccabees, that you already know, you remember that in Maccabees, when they had done an abomination in the temple, they had sacrificed a pig, the Greeks had. They retake the temple, they cleanse everything, they rededicate the temple unto Yahweh, and precisely they celebrate without oil that miraculously lasted for 8 days. They celebrate Hanukkah, which means literally day of the rededication. Hanuk or Enoch is the one dedicated unto God. Hanukkah is the day of the dedication of the temple. The temple was contaminated and they purified it. This temple is contaminated not with the mark of the beast. It's contaminated because of the doctrine that Yahweh placed upon us, all the curses. He has to decontaminate it. It's the best time. Hanukkah is the best time to cleanse this temple and bless us, but not because I say it. Yahweh is saying it. Yahweh is saying that from this day on, I will bless you, and starting from the other, I will curse them. And if you touched something common, it's not going to become holy because you're the holy ones. The dedicated meat, which are you, is the dedicated saint holy meat unto Yahweh. The rest is dog shit, Yahweh says. That's what he said. He didn't say dog shit, but he said the biblical words is unclean. Unclean. The rest is unclean. But from this day on, I will bless you. So then what could I see? I could make a mistake just like in the Boca Juniors game. I see that if he says this on the day prior to Hanukkah, the very same one that happened last Shabbat, is that possibly during Hanukkah, our body be purified. Maybe it'll be the marvelous gift of blessings. What could be better? Is that what I want? Yes. Now, for Yahweh to do it, actually, is something else. For Yahweh to have the Boca elsewhere, that's something else. But what is it that I see in the prophecy? If what with Boca was fulfilled, there's a lot of chances now. I mean, we might be completely wrong, but how marvelous, there's no other word, marvelous. Hanukkah, the feast of the dedication, the cleansing of the temple, is the feast in which they cleanse our temple. Is that clear? I'm not making anything up here. And then afterwards, if we add to that that Yeshua, who represents the Messiah, precisely left this clear in John 10:22-25. John 10:22 through 25, New Living Translation reads as follows. It was now winter. Of course, exactly, it was winter. It is all without flourishing. Like Haggai said, the fig tree has yet to flourish, nothing. It was already winter. And Yeshua, or the Mashiach, Jesus, the salvation, was in Jerusalem at the time of Hanukkah. Exactly, he went to Jerusalem during the time of the dedication. The festival of dedication here, the Bible tells you directly. I'm not adding anything here. I'm going to read it the way it is. It was already winter, and Jesus was in Jerusalem at the time of Hanukkah, the festival of dedication. He was in the temple, walking through the section known as the Solomon's Colonnade. Solomon is wisdom. If Solomon represents anything as wisdom, anything else, I could care less about Solomon. You think about Solomon is wisdom, okay? So then here, we've got many details for him that would like to see. Temple, the body, Yeshua, Mashiach, in this case was Yahweh, Jesus, that was Yahweh directly, and wisdom, and Hanukkah. All that mixed together in the temple. And precisely, as it turns out, notice this, apart from the things that I've just said, if I explain them way too much, it'll be 3 more hours. Some people, like always, surrounded him and asked, look at what they come to ask him during Hanukkah. You know what they asked him? Are you reading? Don't read it. But you know what they asked him in Hanukkah? Do you know? What did they ask him? No. During Hanukkah, unknown people surround him and they asked him something. What do they ask him? Do you know what they ask him? Something that we're waiting for to see or to be. I've said way too much. What was that? No. Some people surrounded him during Hanukkah precisely in what we're waiting for these gifts, and they asked him, how long will you keep us in suspense? If you are the Messiah, tell us plainly. That is the question. Were you the Messiah? When did they ask him during Hanukkah? He says, you keep us in suspense. Are you the Mashiach or not? Are we the Mashiach or not? Are we really the Son of Man, or are we just a charlatan group that's fun and we have a good time and sometimes a bad time, sometimes a good time, or are we really the Mashiach? Notice that in Hanukkah, they go and look for him. Yeshua goes, Yahweh goes into the temple, and they ask him, are you the Messiah? Tell us plainly. Jesus, Yahweh in this case, replied, I have already told you. There's no need for me to tell you. And you don't believe me. That is clear. The proof is the work I do in my Father's name. That is the proof. The proof is in the whole chapter. I could read it to you. I mean, it's so good. It's got to do with this, but I won't read it to you because it's already way too late. I'm about to leave you. But it is magnificent because he tells them, of course, I'm the Messiah, but he's Yahweh. But he's representing us. That during the time of Hanukkah, someone's going to ask you, are you really the Messiah? They could. Or ask us, we ask ourselves. And then the answer comes, the work will do that. What work? The work that will do. The work will speak for us. Not because we claim to be the Messiah, but the work that we have about to do, whether we're the Messiah or not. Of course we are, and of course that work we shall have, and now we're one more than ever. Now, everything that I've told you at the beginning, now I want you to watch this over, this whole entire video, watch it again and enjoy it, because it's really a subject that's very special. It's afterwards in the interpretation of what Yahweh told us, if we're ready or not. And Yahweh says, yes, you are right. I want for the whole world that is listening to me live, I want you to watch this subject again slowly, because this prophecy is in course. I'll read the last part of Haggai. Speak unto Zerubbabel, the governor of Judah, saying, I will make the heavens, the power, and earth tremble, and I shall confound the throne of the temples, Babylon, and I shall destroy the strength of the kingdoms, all the military. The strength of the kingdoms, that is the strength, that's just the military. Everything that they used to live, I shall overthrow the chariots, is very clear, and the riders, everything, all the ones that handle it, and the horses will fall, and their riders will kill each other, planes and everything. That is what the scripture says. What are the chariots, tanks, whatever they have. And they shall come down. Here comes the secret. Brutal secret. Why are they going to come down? Someday they're going to fail, come down? No. What does it say? It says what it says in the second seal. It says, and they will come down, the riders and the chariots, every one will kill each other. How are they going to be destroyed? By the work of the Mashiach? No. The Mashiach is observing, watching. He's like, these guys, they couldn't be any more stupid. They're going to destruct themselves. The Messiah just observes. And the two witnesses destroying themselves. The Messiah just looks upon them. He's like, wow, they're really stupid. Just something so you understand. The entire world will go into war, brother against brother. Why? because of the mark, the pain of the mark. The indignation due to the mark will make them go against everyone, against the guy that gave him the mark, against the religion of the white robes. They're going to burn them. Everything that I've read here, it is a revolution full to the fullest due to the survival and the wrath and the hate Elohim will give them. Kind of like a free flag. Absolutely, they're going to be a free zone for them to kill each other, one against the other, without any barriers of morality, because the hate or the pain of what they're going to go through in their body, of whatever the wounds are, the marks, it will be such that it'll make it so that they will not care about life, but all they want is to kill the other son of a bitch. That's the way it shall be. It'll be the whole world will bomb each other, the ones that exist or not, whatever. They're gonna bomb each other. That's the way it is. I'll read it again, since I've explained it already. Speak unto Zerubbabel, the governor of Judah, saying unto him that he'll explain it to you, to the rest of the people of the eternal truth. I shall cause the heavens and the earth shake, and I'll overthrow the thrones and destroy the power of the kingdoms. I will overturn their chariots and riders. The horses will fall, and their riders will each kill each other. But on that day, wow, saith Yahweh of hosts, and I will take thee, O Zerubbabel, son of Shealtiel, my servant, saith Yahweh, and will make thee as a signet, for I have chosen thee, saith Yahweh of hosts. Absolutely clear. In that time, while the destruction is massive all over the place, that is when something will be activated that you already know. Maybe not everyone deserves it. Maybe they received it, and it wasn't of their actual property, and it's not of your actual genuine something. It becomes a curse if it's not your own, if it really does not belong to you. If it's not a blessing, it's a curse, because if you asked for something that you know that does not correspond, or you asked for it, not that it doesn't correspond, you didn't really want it, you asked it just out of commodity without thinking what it was worth, you didn't care at all whatsoever, just like a cool article to have, and for it to be paid for, and for God to pay for it, it'll become a curse. But those that actually are the ones that are to be sealed, those are what Zerubbabel is going to take charge of. What does it say? I mean, this is marvelous, absolutely marvelous. You didn't think that you were going to have a subject today, were you? I didn't think about Gaza too much. Next Shabbat, I'll bore you with Gaza, because it's very good. But today, that Yahweh speaks to us, wow. Let us go to Revelation chapter 6, 3, and it says, and when he had opened the second seal, I heard the second beast say, come and see. And there went another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth. That is what it says, that it starts on the 24th of Kislev. So then I said to you today, yesterday, last Shabbat, live and direct, we saw the rendering of the cup unto the mark. We saw it. It even hurt, because we didn't understand, but we saw it. We didn't want to let go of it. We're that angel that does not want to let go. He says, pour it, give it to them. Leave the cup. Leave it there in Rio de Janeiro. That takes you to January, because in January I have another date for you. We saw that. But the effect in the nations that will go crazy comes from the 24th and on. Precisely when their Messiah has to start to receive a blessing. They receive the curse, and his Messiah, the blessing, and then you're going to see the two teams very clearly. That is when the second seal is opened, because the first plague is already completed. When does the first seal, trumpet plague, end? When the plague is applied. The plague is applied, and everyone has something visible. It's already completed. We move on to the second one. What is the second one? And another horse, a red one, came up, and the one that rode thereon was given power to take the peace from the earth, and they should kill one another. It's exactly the same words that we've just read in Haggai. That they shall all fall. Why? The sword of their brother, their companion. It is all extremely, specifically coinciding. The prophecy I read to you is exact and precise. We saw the mark with our own eyes. We saw it from before. We learned how to avoid it. When it came, we laughed of what the people would call the flu. Minense. People drank it up. People needed something to stop that which did not exist. And they obtained it. They obtained it due to convenience, out of conviction, but they obtained it nonetheless. But no one has yet seen the result of what they obtained. We saw symbolically the rendering of the plague. And from January 6th, the 24th of Kislev, possibly, shall we start to see the results? Tremendous results, rather, that will take the world unto the second seal. And those that are saved from that are those, the enemies that the Messiah will have. First, it has to be purged. They're going to fight one against the other, so then the population will be reduced a lot. But those that are left from that are those that will live, the third one, the fourth one, the fifth one, the sixth one, and the seventh one. But the reduction comes, and it comes with a date. And with that date, we also wait for the blessing of Yahweh. And the blessing of Yahweh precisely should be in Hanukkah. Without any further ado, we shall meet again next Shabbat, where we shall study Gaza 2. I hope that today you're all happy and joyful, blessed, and that in retribution to what you received today, you write a comment when the video ends. Semper Fi. Semper Fi. And we shall wrap up first with a word of prayer. Beloved Yahweh, we give you thanks because now we understood that you spoke to us. You spoke to us last Shabbat. It's just that we did not understand your words. But now we do. And also, we are expecting for you to speak again another Shabbat. Kislev 24th, the Day of Kings. And you have promised a blessing from that day on, that precisely at sunset of that Shabbat is where Hanukkah begins. The feast of dedication begins on the second Sukkot, in which your temple is cleansed. That is the greatest blessing that you could have given us. Only you can do this, because it's your promise. It is your capacity of giving us these blessings. And also, you have promised to confound the beast and the nations, and for the effect that the mark has had on this earth to be visible. All this we thank you for. Thank you for speaking unto us, and we will wait for you to speak to us again. Alleluia. All this we thank you for in your precious name, Yahweh Sabaoth. Alleluia. Semper Fi. Alleluia to every one of you. Long live the bride, the Argentum bride, Bostera Boquense, dressed with blue and gold of Yahweh. I'd like to thank officially, she's going crazy. I'd like to officially thank the Boca Juniors Athletic Club for handing, even if angry, the cup unto Palestine, the flu. because we conceded it, because we poured it out, because we conceded it, and it was left in Brazil. So then, many thanks. It was an irony. I thank Yahweh that Yahweh spoke to us through these symbols, these things, which are as simple as a fig tree, but for us, we see the subject. We shall meet again next Shabbat. Hallelujah to every one of you. Let the laurels be eternal that we knew how to achieve. Crowned with glory, let us live. Hallelujah to every one of you. Hallelujah. Sophie loved today's subject. Okay, Sophie, great. Okay, come here.